What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 9 id. Chapter 201 Oden is shocked. Roger's widow Rouge. Open black lens bracket please subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertise here. 1 week after the public execution of the Pirate King. New World, Wano-kuni, Julie. Lord Oden, Lord Oden. A cat and a dog pushed each other to reach the damning hall. What's wrong? Unknowingly, Neko Viper, Oden asked with his chin clenched and a distressed look on his face. Lord Oden, something bad has happened. Captain Roger, the captain is going to be. Urgent tears welled up in Cat Viper's eyes. Idiot, that's an expired newspaper. This is the latest news. Lord Oden, you'd better read it quickly. Unknowingly delivered the newspaper from a week ago to Oden. This is, look at the announcement of Roger's execution on the news. Kazuki Oden's eyes widened for a moment. 307. His mouth was also open to the limit, and his thoughts were rising and falling like a stormy sea. His face was full of shock and other inexplicable emotions. Roger, Oden yelled. The figure rushed out like a gust of wind. Was that Lord Oden before? Master Oden, what's wrong with Dao? Kinemon, Denjiro and other retainers called out repeatedly. However, there was no response from Oden. Mao Mao Chan, Wang Wang Chan. Kikunoche looked at Unknowingly and Neko Viper. Neither the cat nor the dog hid it. Even if it is to inform everyone about the news report. Nani, Lord Oden's former captain was executed. Not good. Does Lord Oden want to rescue the captain? Hurry up and stop it. Kinemon's expression changed drastically. Wait a minute, Kinemon, I think that might not be the case, because the captain named Roger was executed a week ago. Denjiro grabbed Kinemon. Then, why did Oden-sama? Kanjuro narrowed his eyes slightly. 9 Mile Coast. Ha ha ha, ooh, ha ha ha. Kazuki Oden runs wildly on the beach. Sometimes he cried loudly, sometimes he laughed endlessly. Like a madman, Oden, tired of crying, tired of laughing, and tired of running, collapsed directly on the beach. Roger, you are really the best. Oden covered his forehead, tears falling uncontrollably. But the corners of his mouth curved into a smile again. You have done the last thing you can do. It's my turn next. I will definitely work hard to make this country fully open and welcome the arrival of Joyboy. Kazuki Oden secretly made up his mind. Suddenly. Oden glanced out of the corner of his eye. I saw a small black spot on the sea in the distance. That's a ship. Base. Oden stood up. High speed. Looking at the boats on the sea. The look on Oden's face gradually became excited. How could he not recognize it? After all, it was the ship of kings that accompanied them in their conquest of the Grand Line. Oral Jackson. Roger, are you back? Odin whispered unconsciously. I just feel like my whole person is in a fog. Everything is as unreal as a dream. But very quickly, Oden suddenly woke up. The ship of kings coming from far and near is not an illusion. But actually exists. Oro Jackson is really here. Wow, the waves crashed against the rocks. The large 3-masted sailing ship Oro Jackson slowly docked and anchored in Port Ida. 1 man, 2 women, and 3 figures appeared in Oden's sight. Kazuki Oden rubbed his eyes. Only then was I convinced that I was not wrong. It was, who drove Oro Jackson here? Uncle Roger, why are you here? And our ship? Oden has a lot of confusion in his heart. Stop talking nonsense, Oden boy. Roger waved his hand to interrupt. I have a task for you. Uncle Roger's mission, I just have to do my best, please feel free to tell me. Oden agreed. For the next year, Rouge will stay with you temporarily. Roger finished. He turned to look at the depressed woman. Rouge, don't worry in this country. If you want to go somewhere else after the child is born, let Orvia inform me. Yes, Teacher Roger. Miss Orvia is also in trouble. Rouge bowed and saluted. Uncle Roger, who is this? Oden looked questioning. The widow of that bastard Roger. Roger said. Alas alas, Roger's wife. Kazuki Oden's eyes widened in shock once again. I never expected that at the end of his life, Roger would actually. Whether it's him or Rayleigh, or anyone on the boat. Everyone thought Roger was just talking. However. Any more questions? Oden. Roger raised an eyebrow. No. It's no problem at all. I'll take care of it all. Since I am Roger's wife and children, I will do my best to protect them. Uncle Roger, please rest assured. Kazuki Oden responded with 18 or more mouths. Orvia, I have to ask you to take care of me more this year. Roger said. No. Orvia shook her head. Actually, I have always wanted to come to Wano-kuni again. I still have some questions that need to be answered from this country. Explain everything. Roger turned around and prepared to leave. That Uncle Roger. Anything else? Is Roger really dead? Oden asked. 1 sentence. Rouge's dim eyes suddenly lit up. If you want to know, try to live until 22 years later. Roger smiled slightly. Chapter 202 Ace is born. Lord of Destruction Bullet. Open black lens bracket please subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertise here. See Circle Calendar 1498. The era of great pirates begins as scheduled. An unprecedented era of chaos is coming. Just 1 month after the death of Pirate King Roger. The number of pirates pouring into the Grand Line exceeds the total number in the past year. And this number continues to surge. withstand too many pirate invasions at once. The balance of the park in the first half of Grand Line is broken. Marine had to change tactics. At the suggestion of Vice Admiral Crane, Marshal Kong made a decisive decision and gave up the capture of New World. Withdraw the troops originally stationed in New World. Used to stabilize the turbulent situation in the first half. This makes the situation in New World increasingly chaotic. All heroes rise together, want to compete for the throne left by Roger after his death. The fighting between pirates is getting more and more intense. And this is the result that Vice Admiral Xiaohei wants. Relying on internal friction among pirates to balance. It's just such a general strategy of raising GU. In the end it is bound to cause some problems. In the near future, there will be GU kings who survive to the end and are born one after another. The first one is undoubtedly Whitebeard, the veteran left over from the previous era. Who will be the next second, third, fourth? No one could foresee it. Along with the chaotic situation. Time has come to see Circle Calendar 1499. After 8 months. Roger returns to Wano Kuni. I don't know if it's a coincidence or fate. Even without the threat of world government. Even if you don't need to hold back, keep the child in your belly. Rouge was still in labor. Fortunately, Roger, the miraculous healer, is here. Finally, mother and son are safe. With mother's company. Roger believed it. This kid named Ace will have some changes in the future. A week later, after confirming that the conditions of Rouge, Ace and mother and son are stable, Roger left Wano Kuni. Go straight to an island in the new world called Bullet. This is a lifeless island. The sky is dark. The earth is bright red. There was a reddish mist in the air. The pungent smell of blood mixed with the smell of decay. Coupled with the broken limbs and pools of undried blood that can be seen everywhere. Everything makes this island look like a hell on earth. If there is no factual evidence, no one will believe it. Such a hellish scene. It was actually made by just one person. Devil's successor, Douglas Bullet. Former member of Roger Pirates. At the age of 15, he was able to tie with Pluton Rayleigh. Now he is claimed to be the powerful man who inherited Roger. Be it a pirate or a marine, everyone believes that it can rise to become one of the overlords of this sea. On an equal footing with the old overlord Whitebeard. However, this man named Bullet is too, alone. Not as aloof as Red Count Brewery Clydefield. His independence is full of madness and stubbornness. He doesn't trust so-called partners. Believe that only your own strength is everything. In the year after Roger's death, his madness worsened. He is like the incarnation of the Lord of Destruction. Wherever you go, you destroy. Everywhere it passes will be destroyed. In the past year, the pirates who came to seek refuge with him were all killed. All the marines who came to stop and arrest him were wiped out. Even the largest force in the underground world suffered at his hands. Douglas Bullet is like a mad dog transformed into the new world. No matter who you meet, you will bite if you catch them. Such behavior, it has already caused public outrage. Becoming the target of all forces in New World. To this, Bullet himself still didn't care at all. No matter how many people come. He accepted everything as ordered. His purpose is to slaughter all the strong men in the world. Prove yourself in this way. Proving that he is the true king of the sea, surpassing Roger. Things have developed to this point. Even Marine can't continue to let him wreak havoc and ignore it. Half a month ago, Marshal Empty Seal, the activation of Super 290 Buster Call is allowed. Admiral Sengoku serves as the overall captain. The hero Vice Admiral Garp and others are assisted. Encirclement and suppression of Bullet entrenched on Bullet Island. At this time, there is still half a day left before the arrival of Marine Buster Call. Bullet Island Center. Douglas Bullet stood atop a mountain of corpses in a sea of blood. The whole body is surrounded by the terrifying blood energy and ghost energy like ghosts and gods. Between breaths, blood-red air flowed in and out between his mouth and nose. He is adjusting his condition to reach the peak. He wants to face the Marine Buster Call at his peak. Sudden. At some point, Bullet seemed to feel something. Suddenly he looked up. His eyes were fixed on the ethereal sky. The next second, there was a breeze blowing in the empty sky. Bullet, we meet again. Roger spoke calmly. Shirayasha. Roger. The expression on Bullet's face gradually became excited. Chapter 203 Roger's Bullet Open Black Lens Bracket. Please subscribe close Black Lens Bracket. Advertise here. The Devil's successor, Douglas Bullet. He is a true monster genius. He was born in the Grand Line, country of endless war. He was abandoned by his mother when he was born and became an orphan. He was adopted by the enemy army. As a child, he served as a cadet soldier under Army Captain Douglas Gray. The main task is to be the first to step on landmines on the battlefield, or to open the way with bombs. Bullet was active with his strong fighting power, but was betrayed by his companions when he was about to succeed. Not only was the medal robbed, but he was also seriously injured on the verge of death. From then on, Bullet no longer believed in others, and only worked for his own victory. The young Bullet relied on his strength alone to become an all-powerful hero on the battlefield. On the battlefield, when his life was hanging by a thread due to hunger and fatigue, he ate the fusion fruit, and became stronger from then on. At the age of 14, Bullet became a national hero. Troop Commander Douglas promised to let him leave the battlefield after the war and give him true freedom. However, he didn't expect that Douglas also betrayed him and wanted to kill him. The angry Bullet destroyed the country and the army, so he was rewarded by the world government. On the power of talent. Bullet is even inferior to Linlin, who was born with strange strength. He was also on Roger's adoption list. Only, because of some accidents. Roger was supposed to pick up Bullet at the time. Too immersed in the development of pure gold. The end result is missing out. Wait until Roger remembers. Bullet has already arrived on Roger's ship. Since he missed it, Roger simply didn't force it. Roger would never do such a thing as openly poaching disciples and crew members. Let Bullet grow wildly according to its original trajectory. After Bullet separated from Roger's group, Roger once asked Shiki to offer an olive branch to Bullet. Only, Bullet has completely gone astray and doesn't even care. Arrived now, Bullet has completely gone berserk. Now that it has been determined that it cannot be used for personal use. Then just grab the Impel Down and pluck the wool directly. This was Bullet's fate anyway. Anyway, Roger has been really busy lately. Shirayasha. Roger. Bullet Hockey's roar echoed under the sky, causing chaos in the world. Hey, Bullet, although it's been a long time since I last saw you, there's no need to be so excited. Roger crossed his arms and smiled. Roger Shirayasha. Roger Shirayasha. Okay, it's really good. Bullet applauded again and again as if he was in a daze. This time it's not just Buster Call, it's you too. Very good. Marine and the world government guys finally know how scary I am. Don't get me wrong. Roger waved his hand. My presence here has nothing to do with Marine or world government, I'm just passing by chance. Passing by. Bullet was stunned. Yeah, just passing by. Anyway, everyone is going to Impel Down, so I'll give you a ride by the way. Roger smiled. Boom. The atmosphere between heaven and earth suddenly condensed. Endless blood energy surrounded Bullet, turning into a huge shadow of ghosts and gods. You actually said it was by the way. Even if you look down on people, there must be a limit. The veins on Bullet's ferocious face bulged. However, the next second, he regained his composure. That's enough. It doesn't matter if you're passing by or just stopping by, as long as you show up here, it's already the best thing. The look of madness gradually built up on Bullet's face. You are Captain Roger's teacher. You are a mountain that Captain Roger is ashamed of. But as long as I can defeat you, it means that I have surpassed Captain Roger. That's right. Bullet spoke excitedly. The logic is right, but if you want to win against me, you would be a little too ambitious. The look on Roger's face was still calm. Then come and try it right away. Take the move, Shirayasha. In the midst of loud shouts, the power in Bullet's body was boiling. The huge ghost energy suddenly compressed. Together with the most powerful armed color airflow, it attached to his body. His right fist suddenly clenched. Blue-black lightning suddenly burst out. That's his Conqueror's Haki surging. That's Conqueror's coil that only the truly strong will use. The strongest fist. Boom. Chapter 204 Paramesha Fusion Fruit Ability Awakens. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Advertise here. The strongest fist. Douglas Bullet, the devil's successor, roared. Advanced weapon color winding, ghost winding and the strongest conqueror's winding. The three are united in power. All accumulated in the fist. One punch, revolving heaven. Rumble, the earth splintered beneath Bullet's feet. By that unparalleled reaction force, Bullet's figure lifted into the air at high speed like a rocket. Along the way, terrifying sonic boom clouds exploded. He was like a missile, heading straight towards Roger in the sky. Click, thunder and lightning roared in all directions. Bullet's fist has not yet arrived. The thick clouds had suddenly opened a hole. Ha 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 ha, take the move, this is the strongest power. Even you! Exclamation mark. 257. Bullet's complacent words suddenly stopped. Also stagnant was his rocket-like figure. Even the heaven and earth, nature, and everything. Even time and space seemed to be stagnant at this moment. It's all just because of Roger's big hand. Kid, your momentum is not bad, but if you want to challenge me, you are 100 years too early. Roger spoke calmly. One palm, pressed down. It seems to carry the power and will of heaven and earth. Suppress all enemies in the world. Ah, damn it. Douglas Bullet roared unwillingly. However, his body shape could no longer rise even a little bit. The ghost energy on his fist was blown away first. Followed by the entanglement of armed colors and conquerors. Under Roger's blow that set the world in motion. CDFA, all his weapons have no meaning. Finally, accompanied by the overwhelming clicking sounds of the bones and flesh inside the body. Bullet can no longer stand high in the sky. He was pinned down by Roger's palm falling from the sky. It hit the island like a meteor. Boom, boom. Large crisscrossing cracks spread in all directions. Endless smoke and dust surged into the sky. I don't know how much time has passed. Don't think it's over like this. Angry roars exploded from the smoke. The wind howled. Blow away the dust in the sky. Above the earth. At some point a huge steel robot appeared. The top of the robot's head. Bullet stands. The deep purple crystal perfectly blends him with the robot. This is what Douglas Bullet is capable of. Paramesha combined fruit ability. What he is merging now is his own submarine catapult. Medium bullet form. The battle is just about to begin now. Bullet stopped drinking coldly, with the powerful power of the catapult. He ascended to the sky again. A huge steel fist hit Roger on the head. Facing Bullet's onslaught, Roger just calmly raised his right hand and index finger. Iron Fist's raid came to an abrupt end. Was pressed against by one of Roger's fingers. The alloy material on the surface disintegrated instantly. And the cracks are still spreading. To this, Bullet, who is at the center of the robot, is naturally not unaware. Damn it, stop looking down on people. Bullet pumped his fists. The steel fists fell like raindrops. However, no matter how ferocious his attack was, he could never shake Roger in the slightest. Dozens and hundreds of confrontations and collisions. Roger didn't take a step back. Even the jumpsuit Kakuzu was never messy. In contrast, the medium-sized Bullet robot. But it is riddled with holes. Sparks erupted. It is already on the verge of collapse and disintegration. Ah! Bullet yelled wildly. It fell to the ground weakly. Roger Shirayasha, I admit your strength. So you will also see my full strength next. Bullet's restless mood gradually returned to calm. Centered around the broken Bullet robot, the dark purple crystals spread in all directions like waves of the sea. Wherever you go, everything is assimilated. Finally, they converge towards Bullet's body. Paramesha fusion fruit ability, awakening. Accompanied by the fusion and gathering of endless matter. A monster hundreds of meters tall and towering over the sky roared onto the scene. The roaring sonic impact alone set off a ferocious storm on the bottom of the island. Wow, what kind of monster is that? Is that Bullet asshole too? Damn it, this is his last resort. Can't win at all. Run. The pirates who were hiding on Bullet Island and waiting for an opportunity to take revenge on Bullet were all scared to death at this moment and fled in all directions. Come on, Shirayasha, fight to your heart's content. Chapter 205. Defeat. Incorporate the remnants of Red Earl and Roger. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Report. Sengoku Admiral. Emergency. Repeat. An unexpected emergency has occurred. Near Bullet Island, Marine Rear Admiral, who was stationed in advance for surveillance, initiated emergency contact through a phone bug. This is Sengoku, what's the emergency? Admiral Sengoku's voice came from the other end of the phone. Not long ago, a fierce battle broke out on Bullet Island. Someone took a step ahead of us and started an all-out war with Bullet. Marine Rear Admiral reported in shock. Who is he? Is it other pirates? Sengoku asked. I don't know. The identity of the other party is unknown. But now Bullet has taken on the third monster form that once destroyed a country. The third large form Bullet was destroyed. Telephone bug communication is interrupted. Sengoku, who is fighting Bullet? Hero Garp asked in a deep voice. Have no idea. Admiral Sengoku shook his head. But in this ocean, there are only a handful of people who have the ability to force Bullet into its third form. I asked, could it be Teacher Roger? Vice Admiral Porcelino spoke tentatively with a flash of light on the side. The Marine generals on the warship were all stunned. This possibility is very high. Bullet Island battlefield. Ha. You see, this is the real strongest. Large Bullet form. Bullet laughs wantonly. If size determines everything, then the giants would have already dominated the world. Roger spoke calmly. Bullet's laughter stopped. I wonder if you can still be so conceited after experiencing my power personally. Bullet spoke coldly. He hesitated no more. The giant monster, which was hundreds of meters high, raised its big hand high and struck down at Roger mercilessly. This time, facing Bullet's offensive, Roger didn't even make a defensive move. A layer of bright white light emerged from around him. Blocked the large Bullet's mountain-shattering palm. The white light suddenly expanded, completely covering the monster giant's arms. Boom. A shock. The arms of the combined monster giant completely fell apart and ceased to exist. Before Bullet could recover from the shock, the next second, Roger, who was originally locked in his sight color, disappeared. Roger moved, taking the initiative for the first time. Whoosh. The sword shines brightly. Shine everywhere. The other arm of the hundreds-meter level monster giant was severed by an air root. A little lightning flashed. A large hole with a radius of 100 meters exploded in the giant's belly. It's over, Bullet. Roger spoke quietly. I don't know when. He was already standing directly above the head of the large Bullet. A punch landed lightly. The several hundred-meter level Bullet giant completely fell apart. Is this a mountain that even Captain Roger can't climb? Really, I can't see the top. Bullet spit out blood and flew backwards weakly. His eyes went dark, his consciousness gradually blurred, and he finally fell into a coma. A ray of sunshine pierces the darkness and illuminates the earth. In the light, a slender figure walked out slowly. As expected, it's you, teacher. Flash Vice Admiral Porcelino pouted and said with a lewd expression. The next second, snapped. With his hands in his pockets, the old god stood in the sky at Porcelino, who was knocked off the mundane world, with a disgraced face. Why hit me again, teacher? Porcelino muttered dissatisfied. So, I have warned you a long time ago that if you still use your same old tone of voice in front of me, the teacher will only give you a slap once in a while. Roger said. Sorry. Realizing that he was beaten because he was too obscene, Porcelino quickly stood up and straightened his face. Asking for flowers. Where are Sengoku and Garp? Roger wiped his hands and asked casually. Brothers are still on the way. Porcelino replied cautiously. Then I'll leave first and let them wash the floor. Say it. Without waiting for Pelusolino to say anything more. Roger flew straight into the air. See Circle Calendar 1498. Douglas Bullet, the Devil's successor, breaks into the Impel Down eternal hell. There were also more pirates imprisoned at the same time. Time comes to 1499. This year, the situation at sea remains chaotic. The number of pirates coming to Impel Down is increasing. 0.00. Except for the prisoners though. Impel Down's jailer family finally welcomed 2 female members for the first time in decades. They are 3-year-old Domino and newborn Sadie-chan. There is no doubt about it. As children, the two were naturally raised by Tia and Miss Witch on the 5.5th floor. For the arrival of a new sister, Robin and Hiyori were also very happy. This year, in addition to gaining Domino and Sadie-chan, Roger also has one of the biggest gains. With Shaki's persistent invitation and the relationship with Brook, the King of Soul. The famous Lone Ranger on the sea, a legendary strongman whose personal strength is enough to compete with Roger and Whitebeard. The aloof Red Count Burr E. Clydefield joined the largest organization in the underground world. In addition, a group of remnants of Roger's group who were being hunted including Rayleigh also joined the team this year. One day, when the invisible and huge forces hidden under the water surface, the world will be trembled. The new century has arrived as scheduled. See Circle Calendar 1500. An unprecedented event occurs. The legend of Impel Down, the deep-sea prison known as the Iron Wall, has been broken. The first ever prison escaper appears. Golden Lion Shiki, jailbroken. Chapter 206 Golden Lion Shiki, jailbreak. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertise here. New century, new ambience. The legendary old director of Impel Down. Wandering outside as always. At the same time, Impel Down. 6 underground levels of eternal hell. Golden Lion Shiki, the great flying pirate who has been dormant for 5 years. Finally, he launched his 5-year jailbreak plan. With the help of the boy in the adjacent cell, Golden Lion Shiki took the lead in untying the seastone handcuffs on his hands. Don't have the seastone keys for both feet. It doesn't matter. Golden Lion Shiki grinned. Wrap the chains around your ankles. Pull hard. Poof. Blood splattered. Shiki, the son of the Golden Lion, 930, forcibly cut off both of his feet with iron chains. Then he manipulated the chain to break through the cage. The flying pirate regained his freedom after 5 years. Gia ha 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 ha. Golden Lion Shiki let out his usual unruly laugh. Laughing to cover up the pain of a broken foot. Oh. As expected of Boss Shiki, I actually broke free. Long live Captain Shiki. Hurry up and open our cell too. The prisoners who surrendered to Shiki were all overjoyed. In the hope that Golden Lion Shiki can fulfill his promise, they escape from prison together. Golden Lion Shiki, he actually escaped. He actually cut off his own feet. What a cruel person. But this is an opportunity. Hey, Shiki, I'm willing to be your subordinate, as long as you release me from here. Yes, Captain Shiki, let's escape from prison together. Golden Lion Shiki, it's a little too much for you to escape from prison alone. It's better if we all escape together. Yes, it's not enough for you alone. Even if the monster director is no longer there, Impel Down's troops are still not something you can control with your broken leg. Hurry up and open my cell in handcuffs. Lousy is here to help you. Yes, Shiki, release us all quickly and let's make a big fuss together. I know, that bastard director's base is right above us, and his wife and daughter are all there. This time, we will definitely make him pay the price. Oh. The prisoners in eternal hell are all passionate and in high spirits. Dreaming about a better life after prison escape. However, Gia ha 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 ha, Golden Lion Shiki had a teasing arc on his face. Still just floating in the air, unmoved by the prisoners' wonderful proposals. There is no intention of even opening the alley's cage. You guys are complete idiots. Golden Lion Shiki taunted. What did you say? The prisoners' smiles faltered. Being imprisoned in this place, I still know your character clearly. Nature can be changed easily, so how can you obediently become my strength? I'm afraid it's enough to stop stabbing me in the back. Golden Lion Shiki sarcastically said. The prisoners fell silent again. Non-committal. Even so, now we can become cooperative partners. Yes, you will never be able to escape with your own strength. We still need to work together to muddy the waters of Impel Down. In this way, you can also find a chance to escape. Don't hesitate, hurry up and liberate us. You must also have deep resentment towards this big prison and that by Yaksha. Let's have a grand riot together while he's not around. Gia ha 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 ha, you idiots are wrong again. Golden Lion Shiki laughs a lot. Who told you that I can't escape alone? Who do you think Lousy is? Lousy is the flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki. Shiki spoke proudly. Okay, but if you are really strong, you will find a way to release us too. Yes, in that case, I will recognize your strength. The prisoners used provocation. However, Golden Lion Shiki remained unmoved. I never do anything bad, so what's the point of releasing you from me? Murdering the waters of Impel Down. No, if I really let you mess around. As the #1 prison escapee, I will be targeted by Shiro Yaksha forever. I'm sorry, this is a risk that I don't want to take. Golden Lion Shiki's calm analysis. Boss Shiki, what about us? You guys, you can't escape even if you are released, so you should continue to wait here for a while. When I conquer the world, I will definitely come and liberate you. Gia ha 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 ha. Golden Lion Shiki laughed. Why is it like this? 1.0 You are not keeping your word. So what? Pirates have no credibility to begin with. Golden Lion Shiki said proudly. Tisk. Dark purple hypnosis gas surges down. The jailers who observed Shiki's escape through the phone bug immediately took action. Hypnosis gas is infused at the same time. Seastone troops are also deployed outside the gate of eternal hell. The Seastone's big net is open, ready to catch the Golden Lion Shiki who breaks out of the door. However, Shiki did not follow the routine. His big hands pressed against the ceiling of eternal hell. Paramesha Lion Fruit ability activates. The ceiling twists, and a passage runs through it. Chapter 207. The myth of the 800-year prison is shattered. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Doo-doo-doo. The piercing siren echoed through every floor of the deep-sea prison. It can be called the first time in the past century. All units pay attention. All units pay attention. Jailbreakers appear in eternal hell. Prepare to inject hypnosis gas now. The third and fourth teams immediately went to the entrance of eternal hell to set up defenses. The jailbreakers must not be allowed to escape from eternal hell. The voice of Deputy Commissioner Baka, who is nearly 80 years old, is heard throughout the prison through the phone bug. The entire Impel Down jailers move together. Carry out the orders of superiors as soon as possible. Begin to set up tight defenses in an orderly manner. However, because the prison escaper is the legendary flying pirate, the unexpected is actually expected. No, Deputy Director Baka. That golden lion didn't take the door, it directly penetrated the ceiling of eternal hell. He has now escaped to the 5.5th floor underground. The guards in the monitoring room on the second underground floor made anxious reports. What did you say? In the director's office on the fourth floor underground, Deputy Director Maka took up arms again after decades and headed straight to the 2345.5th floor. If something happens on the 5.5th floor, the world will be turned upside down. At this moment, Impel Down 5.5 floors underground, Luwu training ground. Tempest kick, finger pistol, iron body. The 6-style instructor and the prison guard trainees in the training ground moved together. Countless large and small tempest kick air blades flew towards Golden Lion Shiki. Wahahaha. Golden Lion Shiki laughed wantonly. Dodge all tempest kicks with the lion fruit ability. No wonder the guards at Impel Down are becoming more and more professional. It turns out that this is the root cause. That's not bad. Golden Lion Shiki judged himself. Golden Lion, give up. This is the deep sea prison Impel Down, you can't escape. That's right. No one has ever been able to successfully escape from a large prison with iron walls. The 6-style instructors, whose strength was comparable to that of Vice Admiral, all shouted harshly. Gia ha 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 ha. What I like most is the unprecedented one. I accept the challenge of becoming the number 1 escapee of this big prison. Golden Lion Shiki laughed unruly. Well, that's it for the small talk, I'm leaving first. Golden Lion activates its own lion fruit ability. Rushing out along the passage. The 6-style instructors who wanted to pursue were blocked by the rushing wall. It won't take long. Golden Lion Shiki came to freezing hell on the 5th underground floor. In the snowy forest, 2 young women stood in front of the cabin, quietly looking at the golden lion in the sky. Remnants of the past era, mistresses of the prison, you are no match for me. Leave this sentence behind. Golden Lion Shiki turned around and left. Nothing was done. After all, he knew, if you really do it yourself. In the future, there will be no place for him in this sea. Watching Golden Lion Shiki run away, Dia clenched her fists tightly and tried to pursue him several times. However, they were all held back by Miss Witch. Why? Tia was puzzled. This is what Roger meant. Miss Witch said solemnly. Same as breaking through eternal hell. Golden Lion Shiki takes a different approach. Directly use the lion fruit ability to open a hole in the 4th or 5th underground floors. This way, the guards of the large prison have become a decoration. Deputy Director Maka, Katakuri, and Magellan also missed the mark. But at least, after confirming that everyone on the 5.5th floor is okay. A big stone hanging in their hearts was also put down. Deputy Director Baka, something bad has happened. Golden Lion Shiki has escaped to Wild Beast Hell. The contact from the jailer in the monitoring room once again made the prison senior officials change their minds. Wild Beast Hell, Hanyable, not good. Magellan immediately thought of Hanyable, who was on duty on the 2nd underground floor. Deputy Director, I'll go directly to the sea level. At the risk of the glory of the prison, Golden Lion Shiki will never be allowed to escape. Katakuri said solemnly. Go, Katakuri. Baka nodded. Whoosh. Katakuri, who transformed into a griffin, turned into a stream of golden light and flew away through the air. At this moment, Wild Beast Hell on the 2nd underground level. Tick-tock. Red blood dripped down in front of Hanyable. The chief warden, Hanyable, raised his head tremblingly. Looking at the man smoking a cigar leisurely on the beam, Hanyable's face could not help but freeze with horror. Gia ha 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 ha, do you know where my 2 swords are? They are both famous swords. Golden Lion Shiki asked. Promoted. Seems to have been promoted. Ah, I made a mistake, it's Shiki. Hannibal was so frightened that he could not speak incoherently. Although I'm very sorry for you 870 people, I'm leaving here. I don't want these feet anymore. I'll just keep them as souvenirs for you. I've been really taken care of by you all these years. Golden Lion Shiki had a penetrating expression on his face. Boom. The dome on the first floor of Impel Down was split open by a huge golden sword energy. Not good. Shiki is running away. The jailers screamed in panic. The warships guarding the outside fired their cannons. However, it was unable to touch Golden Lion Shiki. For Shiki, who has the power of lion fruit, the sky is his home court. Gia ha 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 ha, the myth of the big prison will be shattered by Lousy today. Goodbye. No, never again, Impel Down. Shiki laughed and waved goodbye. Don't even think about running away. Golden Lion. A golden stream of light burst out from the ruins on the first floor of the sea. If I don't arrest you, I won't take another step down Impel. Katakuri Haki shouted as he transformed into a griffin. What a difficult kid. If you have the ability, come and try it. Golden Lion gritted his teeth. Whoosh. Boom. Chapter 208 Family Gathering. Did Shiki jailbreak on purpose? Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Advertise here. New era. New century. See Circle Calendar 1500's top news. The 800-year-old myth of Impel Down, the deep sea prison, is shattered. As soon as the news came out, the world is shocked. That's the big prison. The legendary deep sea prison Impel Down. It's outrageous that someone could escape from that iron-walled place. It's nothing outrageous. Do you know who escaped this time? That's the flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki. A super pirate as famous as One Piece Roger and Whitebeard. And the word Fatian in his title is enough to explain everything. Impel Down is located in the center of the calm belt. Others cannot escape, but the overlord of the sky can escape. But, I heard that the director of Impel Down is that legend. Yes, the real legendary hero from 100 years ago, Roger Shirayasha. With that person guarding him, how could Golden Lion Shiki escape? But if you think about it carefully, the director is probably close to 100 years old. If that's the case, it's very possible that things won't go as planned. No, don't you know this? On the day of the incident, the legendary director was not there at all, so Golden Lion had an opportunity to take advantage of it. The director of Impel Down is not here. Impel Down. What kind of thing is this? It is said that the director has been practicing his best to arrest pirates all year round. It's all because of that Roger. Ahem, is that so? All around the world, countless people are talking about it. At this moment, Impel Down. Roger returned immediately after receiving the news of Shiki's jailbreak. Baka, how is the damage to the prison? Director, apart from a few injuries, there were no major casualties. It's just that every floor was pierced by a hole from the Golden Lion. What about Eternal Hell? It's nothing serious. Golden Lion didn't release other prisoners to cause trouble. This is also a blessing among misfortunes. And I'm really sorry, Director. It's all because of the incompetence of my subordinates that the myth of the big prison was shattered. This is absolutely terrible. A stain that even death cannot wash away. Deputy Director Baka looked sad. Do not mind. Roger patted Baka on the shoulder nonchalantly. This gaffe has nothing to do with you, it is my responsibility. No, Director, you trust us so much, this is us. So, this is my responsibility. You have done your best, now let's distribute some rewards to everyone. Say it. Roger walked straight away and came to the 5.5th floor underground. Dad Roger, 8-year-old Robin and Hiyori, 5-year-old Domino, and 2-year-old Sadie-chan all stepped forward. Either she threw herself into Roger's arms, or she hugged Roger's thighs and arms. Sorry, everyone, I scared you. Roger apologized. No, the little girls shook their heads together. That Golden Lion is a coward. He is afraid of his father, so he doesn't dare to do anything. The door is protected by Roger's father. Hiyori, Robin, and Domino spoke one after another. Sadie-chan grabbed Roger's arm and climbed up to his shoulder, and finally gave Roger a big smack on his face, giggling happily. Let's go, everyone, the mothers have prepared lunch. Roger held one in one hand and sat two on his brow. He took 4 little girls and went straight to the restaurant. Today is a rare family gathering. It's not just Tia and Miss Witch. At that time, Orvia and I didn't go out either. At the dinner table, Tia stared at Roger without blinking. I want him to give an explanation. Her intuition told her. For this Golden Lion Shiki jailbreak. Roger seemed to have expected this. And allowed this incident to happen. By the way, Roger, what about Katakuri boy? Miss Witch spoke in time to break the cold atmosphere. Yes, Katakuri. Roger pinched his eyebrows with a headache. For Golden Lion Shiki's carefully orchestrated jailbreak. Of course Roger, Zhao Qinhao, doesn't know about it. Even in some small details, he gave a little push and help. Of course there is Roger's purpose in this. Compared to the mythical reputation of the big prison, Roger cared more about what happened next. That's why he allowed Golden Lion to escape. Even Roger didn't expect it. Shiki's jailbreak also triggered some chain reactions. For example, Katakuri, never Impel Down before catching Shiki. This is Katakuri's promise, and it is now being strictly implemented. Let Katakuri go to Shaki for the time being. That kid will be fine. Chapter 209. Launching a buster call on Ohara, the island of scholars. Please subscribe. Advertise here. The impact of the incident caused by the prison escape of the flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki is still unfolding. Naval Headquarters, Marineford, High-Level Combat Conference Room. Now reposting the bounty on Golden Lion Shiki. Marshal Kong issued a summary order for the meeting. Yes, everyone headed by Admiral Sengoku nodded. End of the meeting. Admiral Sengoku dialed the phone number of his comrades who were vacationing in the remote windmill village of East Blue. I'm Sengoku, sorry to interrupt your vacation. Garp, do you know about the Golden Lion? I've seen it on the news. It's better to be careful. He is not a man who pursues stability, but he probably won't attack right away. After all, he is a well-prepared guy. Besides this, I'm worried about what the world government will do to teachers. Ha 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 ha, what an unnecessary worry. Who do you think the teacher is? Makes sense. World Center. 010. Holy Land, Mariajoy. The meeting hall of the Five Elders. Humph, that old guy's willful behavior finally led to bad consequences. Bald birthmark. Five Elders smashed a corner of the table with one palm. The 800-year-old myth of the deep-sea prison Impel Down was defeated by his absence from duty. This responsibility is not small at all. The samurai Five Elders sneered. How about taking this opportunity to remove him from the post of Impel Down director? The curly-haired aristocratic old star suggested. This method is inappropriate. The ancient Five Elders shook their heads. Why? Everyone was puzzled. The autonomy regulations of Impel Down are still established, and we have no right to interfere with the change of the director of Impel Down. The blonde Five Elders put forward their opinions. Humph, this old rule should be abolished at this opportunity. Bald birthmark Five Elders said. The blonde Five Elders stopped speaking, and their eyes fell on the oldest Five Elders. For us, Impel Down is like a cage for that by Yaksha. Although it can't trap him, it is still of some use after all. As long as Impel Down is here, we can keep track of his movements at any time. So instead of letting the dragon return to the sea, it is better to continue to keep him under our supervision. The oldest Five Elders expressed their opinions. Rational. The other four Five Elders nodded. Having said that, this incident can't just be let go. I'm going to issue an order now and punish by Yaksha to be imprisoned in Impel Down for 1 year. The oldest Five Elders weigh. Only 1 year, isn't it too light? Bald birthmark Old Star said. Everyone glanced at him. In the past, he was punished with lifelong confinement and was not allowed to take a single step out of Impel Down, but he did not comply. In the final analysis, this is nothing more than a reflection of attitude. The matter between Impel Down and Shirayasha ends here. Next, let's focus on the real key points. The curly-haired aristocrat Five Elders knocked on the table. About West Blue OHA CDED. Are those scholars who don't know the heights of the earth really studying and interpreting this historical article? Yes, CP has definitely found out. And the depth of their research is far beyond our imagination. I suspect there are supporters behind them. Supporter. Who? Shiro Yaksha. I don't know anything yet, but what I have to do is clear. That's right. This historical article is a taboo that is absolutely impossible to touch. Even if they are not for weapons, they are simply studying history, which is absolutely not allowed. Anyone or anything that endangers the government will be completely wiped out from this world. Now tell Marine to get ready. Buster call to Ohara, the island of West Blue scholars. Impel Down. The messenger from world government read out the Five Elders' dissatisfaction and judgment on this incident. I know, get out of here. Deputy Director Baka waved his hand impatiently. Be brave, I am the envoy of the Five Elders. This is the order of the Five Elders. Hurry up and call your director to come out and take the order personally. The world government messenger spoke arrogantly. Magellan, go, close the door and let the Sphinx go. Baka said. Sphinx. The government envoy was stunned. The next second, roar. The Sphinx roared. Wow ah ah ah. The government envoys immediately fled. 5.5-story dark room. Sir Roger, it has been confirmed that the world government will launch an attack on Ohara in the near future. Shaki reported. Well, then you can come over again. Roger said. Alas alas, Shaki was a little unhappy. What's wrong? Roger asked. Because Sister Tia and the others. Chapter 210 Ohara's Crisis. The Determination of Scholars. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Ohara, the island of scholars. In the vast West Blue. This is just an inconspicuous looking island. However, this is the holy land of archaeology. On this island are gathered the world's best archaeologists, the first-class archaeological team and the world's largest library, the Tree of Knowledge. Inside the giant pod-like tree of the Tree of Omniscientness are precious texts from around the world. Now, in this omniscient tree, it also holds the biggest secret for thousands of years. From distant hundreds of years ago, Ohara archaeologists are secretly searching, researching and interpreting historical texts. It's just because he is too weak to reach too high a level. Their research process on historical texts has been very slow. Only occasionally do I get extensions of historical texts. Even so, they still worked out how to interpret historical texts. And in this era, from 8 years ago to be exact. It begins after meeting the miraculous hero. Ohara's research on the historical text has progressed by leaps and bounds. In just a few years, it is hundreds of times greater than in the past hundreds of years. They didn't just go to the place where the historical text originated. He even reached the final island that no one had reached for 800 years. There, they saw the truth of the world. See all the secrets hidden by the world government. Of course, it also includes the blank 100 years of history 800 years ago. This is the biggest secret in the omniscient tree now. And it is precisely because of this secret. Archaeologists like them, this omniscient tree and even the entire island of scholars, Ohara, are about to be destroyed. Dr. Kloba, something bad is going on. A government ship was sighted off the coast. There are still waters farther away, and marine warships are also coming. They are not coming for us, are they? An archaeologist shouted a report in a hurry. Finally, is the government paying attention to this land? Kloba, the old library director with a clover haircut, had deep frowns on his face. Not only government ships, but even marine warships are here. What exactly do the government want to do this time? Has our research on this historical article really been completely exposed? The government has always regarded us as a threat, so are they here to completely eliminate us this time? It must be for that reason. Bai Yi and the others are too impulsive. The scholars all looked gloomy. Since 5 years ago. Under the leadership of Roger, they went to the final island of Raftel and saw the truth of the world. The Ohara scholars, who were originally united, had differences. 1 year of Raftel inspection. Several years of historical compilation. About the blank 100 years of history and the even further past of the Great Kingdom. They've probably figured it out. At the same time, they also learned that it happened 800 years ago. The unforgivable sin committed by the predecessor of world government. Thus, disagreements arise. Some young and passionate scholars believe that this period of history should not only be known to them, but must be widely publicized so that everyone in the world can know about it and denounce the sins of the world government. Most scholars, led by Dr. Clover Kloba, chose to remain silent. They are not partners of justice. I just researched because I wanted to know. Please give me flowers. They also feel dissatisfied with the past history. But now, even if it is announced, what will happen? Incurring the disaster of one's own death is only the next best thing. More importantly, it will cause huge chaos around the world. That was a disaster even worse than that of the Great Pirate Era. Pirate King Roger also knew this, so he didn't announce everything. Instead, he chose a euphemistic approach to speed up the process of history. All they can do is arrive at that right time. Just prepare everything. 0. This is the conclusion reached by Dr. Clover Kloba after discussing with Oravia. But some young people are still enthusiastic. Disguise your identity and spread part of the truth everywhere. Even if you have been very careful. I often walk by the river, but my shoes still get wet after all. And use them as an introduction. The world government followed suit and finally targeted Ohara. If the government wants to obliterate us, it probably won't be able to muddle through like before this time. Dr. Clover Kloba sighed. Doctor, have you contacted Mr. Roger? One scholar asked. No way. Dr. Clover Kloba categorically denied. This incident must not involve the hero Roger. He is the hope of everything. As long as he is here, this piece of history will be published in the correct way in the future. So this time, it's up to us to face it. Boom. The door to the Tree of Omniscient was violently kicked open. Heavily armed men in black suits from the world government filed in. No one moves. Everyone, hands up, come outside. Chapter 211 Golden Lion Shiki comes to Ohara. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Advertise here. See Circle Calendar 1500, Spring. West Blue Scholars Island Ohara, Chaos. Notify all townspeople. The scholars on this island are conducting research on demons that will lead to the destruction of the world. For this reason, we are going to conduct a large-scale search across the entire island. During this period, people who have nothing to do with archaeology, please bring items that can prove your identity to the evacuation ship. If you ignore our advice and something happens to you, we will not be responsible. The voices of world government officials were heard throughout the town via telephone bugs. What exactly is going on? The research of scholars will lead to the destruction of the world. They are obviously all excellent scholars, and they are the pride of ROHA 510 office. There must be some misunderstanding. Moreover, what does the affairs of scholars have to do with us? Why do we have to do this? Is something terrible going to happen to this island? Stop talking and run away. We'll talk about the rest later. Residents in the small town of Ohara ran to the refuge boat on the west blue shore with salutes. The whole town was suddenly in chaos. At the same time, the meadow before the omniscient tree. The scholars headed by Clover Dr. Kloba were surrounded and guarded by a group of guards in black suits. Ha ha ha, it's all over so quickly. Arrogant laughter came from not far away. A man in a suit and tie, who looked like a dog, walked over as if he didn't recognize his relatives. He is the government leader of the Ohara incident, CP9 Chief Spangdine. Dash. Ha 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 ha, scholars of Ohara, you will be punished with death today. It is such a pity that today, the world's best archaeologists will die together. This way my work is over, and all that's left is to report to the 5 elders. Spandane burst into laughter. Brew. Gaga. Connected, sir. Orange curly hair CP9. Just in time, before I die, let me have a talk with the 5 elders, the world's most powerful people, and talk about the results of our 100 years of research on blanks. Dr. Clover Kloba slowly stood up. TCH, boring. Spangdean spat. Just wanted to refuse. It doesn't matter. Let him say it. After all, they are also the authority among the authorities in the academic world. If it weren't for this, we wouldn't have the heart to do this. The 5 elders' voices came from the other end of the phone. Stop your pretense, 5 elders. Dr. Clover Cloba said unceremoniously. You rude person, do you know who you are talking to? That is an adult who is at the top of the world. The bastard Spangdean angrily yelled. The authority in archaeology, Dr. Cloba of Ohara, I know you. You have made great contributions to world culture. I just didn't expect that a man like you would end up on the road to crime. It's really shocking. Regret. 5 elders said, history is something that belongs to all mankind, and no one has the right to stop people's curiosity to explore it. Dr. Clover said, if you interpret this historical article, you may awaken the ancient weapon and bring crisis to the world. Even if you don't have any malicious intent, if there are evil people who want to take advantage of this, the result will be the same. The 5 elders spoke calmly. No matter what happened in the past, as long as it is history created by mankind, we should accept it in full. Don't you, the world government, have the courage to accept history? If you can understand everything without fear, you will definitely have solutions. You are so idealistic. 5 elders' voice gradually became impatient. Really, I think it's because there are secrets in history that you don't know about. We always wonder why people in the past deliberately used such hard stones to record words. Maybe they wanted to convey the truth to future generations. The reason why history is engraved on unbreakable stone and scattered around the world is because it is considered that if the words are written on paper or books, they may be destroyed. This is a strong proof that there are forces in the world that are hostile to the people who left the stones. If they were destroyed by some enemy, then their enemies should continue to exist in subsequent history. Coincidentally, in the 100 years of blank history, that is, 800 years ago, world government happened to be born at that time. If the enemy of the people who were eliminated was world government, the blank 100 years of history should be the history that is unfavorable to us has been erased by the world government. By interpreting historical texts, we finally discovered that what appeared in the documents was the majestic appearance of a huge kingdom, but now the information about that country has been forcefully eliminated. I'm afraid they realized that they would be defeated by the United Nations, the world government. In order to entrust their thoughts to the future, they carved all the truth on stone, which is the historical text that has been left to the modern day. Ancient weapon may indeed recover from history, but what is awakened together with history, the existence and thought of that kingdom is the greatest authority for your world government. The 0.3 character name of that kingdom is shut up. On the other end of the phone, murderous intent gradually surged. Ohara, you know too much. There is no need to say any more, kill him. 5 elders ordered coldly. Learn. Spangdean grinned. He took out the pistol in his arms. Boom. The pistol exploded. Ah 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 ah. Spangdean's painful scream sounded like a slaughtered pig. What happened? On the other end of the phone, the 5 elders were shocked. At this time, Gia ha 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 ha. Unruly and arrogant laughter came from the sky. Chapter 212 Golden Lion. I just want to take them away today, let's see who dares to stop me, please subscribe. Advertise here. Gia ha 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 ha. Unruly and arrogant laughter came from the sky. People looked up subconsciously. A golden figure like a lion descended brightly against the sun. He has hook-like eyebrows. Her blonde hair was as thick as a lion's mane. The most eye-catching thing is undoubtedly his pair of feet. Extending from the empty pants legs were 2 sharp swords. Gia ha 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 ha. Don't be so impatient, 5 elders, it's rare that things just happen to be wonderful. Amidst the laughter, the lion-like figure stood still among the scholars and government officials. This man is. Can't be wrong. Government officials in black suits screamed in horror. Who is he? 5 elders asked. It's 555 Lord 5 elders, it's Gold. Golden Lion. The person coming is Shiki, the 23rd son of the Golden Lion, the great flying pirate who escaped from prison not long ago. He appeared in the land of Ohara. The government CPs in black suits screamed in horror. Under the power of the legendary pirate, their bodies were retreating uncontrollably. Golden Lion Shiki, why is this person here? The great flying pirate Golden Lion, what exactly does he want to do? The scholars headed by Dr. Clover Cloba also had faces full of shock and confusion. Golden Lion. On the other end of the phone, the 5 most powerful people in the world all had gloomy expressions. The sudden appearance of Golden Lion Shiki also greatly exceeded their expectations. According to Marine's guess, Golden Lion, which has been jailbroken since Impel Down, should have been dormant for quite some time. But it turns out, their assumptions were wrong. Golden Lion Shiki returned to the sea in such a short period of time. And it still appeared in the unrelated Ohara. This is very strange no matter how you think about it. Is there some fraud involved? Golden Lion Shiki, what do you want to do? This Ohara matter has nothing to do with you. 5 elders asked sharply. Gia ha ha ha, you are right, it didn't matter before, but now it does. Golden Lion Shiki laughed. What is the relationship? 2 years ago in Eternal Hell, that bastard Roger thought that I couldn't get out, so he revealed a piece of news. To find the final island, the most important thing is to interpret the historical text. To be honest, I am not interested in the final island, but I am very interested in the ancient weapon recorded in this historical article. Originally, I plan to search slowly, but at this moment, it's really thanks to you, world government, for pointing out a clear path for me. Golden Lion Shiki grinned. What on earth do you mean? The veins on the foreheads of the 5 elders swelled. Jia ha 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 ha. If it weren't for your large-scale actions, how would I know that the scholars of Ohara, the island of scholars, have all mastered the interpretation of historical texts? As long as there are these scholars, it is only a matter of time to find the ancient weapon to dominate the world, so I am going to take them away today. I will see who dares to stop Lousy. 17. Golden Lion Shiki laughed wantonly. Bastard Golden Lion, don't even think about it. And Ohara, you all heard it. Even if you don't awaken the ancient weapon, there will be evil parties coming to find you. Now, this evil party has appeared immediately. Do you still dare to say that you are not guilty? 5 elders drank continuously. Golden Lion Shiki, you'd better give up. We will never help you awaken the ancient weapon at the expense of the glory of the omniscient tree. Dr. Clover Cloba spoke decisively. Yeah, we will never be an enabler for people like you. We will never help others do evil. You'd better give up on this idea as soon as possible. Other scholars also echoed one after another. Jia ha 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 ha. Don't be so unkind, scholars, I did not hesitate to expose my whereabouts in order to save you today. Besides, if it weren't for me, all of you would have died here today. Golden Lion Shiki advised. So what if I die? We have long been prepared to die. Even if we die, we don't want to become the world's biggest sinners. 237. Since you have already realized this, it's the best thing to do. Go and die now, according to you. The 5 elders' voices echoed throughout the audience. Government CPs in black suits from all directions raised their guns. Bang 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 bang. Suddenly there was a burst of gunfire. A dense rain of bullets covered the scholars. However, the pain he imagined did not appear. The scholars only felt that their eyes were darkened. The next second, a huge domed earthen house enveloped them. Lion Majesty, earth coiling. Golden Lion Shiki slammed his big hand to the ground. Paramesha Lion Fruit ability activates. Just for a moment. Dozens of world government CPs in black suits were wiped out. There are only 2 CP9s and the incompetent officer Spangdine left. Jia ha 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 ha. I have already said that these scholars are the ones I want to take away today. It doesn't matter if they don't cooperate now. Anyway, I have plenty of ways and means to make them cooperate obediently. Golden Lion Shiki said with a sinister smile. Asshole. Chapter 213. Killing CP9 Chief Spangdine, please subscribe. Advertise here. The sea is about a kilometer away from Ohara. 10 Buster Call super warships are lined up. Be prepared to carry out Buster Call operations on Ohara at any time. Kuzan Vice Admiral, just now, Chief Spangdine of CP9 has landed in Ohara. A sailor reported via phone call. Frozen Vice Admiral Kuzan, who was sleeping on the recliner wearing an eye mask, impatiently lifted his eye mask. Please don't report such insignificant things to me. Yes, I'm very sorry. Kuzan Vice Admiral. The caller immediately hung up. Nah, Kuzan. A loud voice sounded from the bow of the deck. What, Saul? Kuzan looked at his giant friend holding his knees on the bow of the warship. Are we really going to fire on that island later? They are not pirates or villains, they are just scholars who love history. Saul, a kind-hearted and moderate giant, spoke weakly. This is none of our business. The only thing to blame is that they violated a taboo. Kuzan sighed, feeling a little helpless. Is 100 years of blank time really that scary? Saul was puzzled. In short, we just need to wait for instructions from the golden phone bug. When the phone bug rings, when will the order be given? Don't think too much about other things. The more you think about it, the more irritable it will be. Kuzan put the blindfold back on. At this time, brew. The contact telephone numbers on each warship rang simultaneously. What happened this time? Kuzan curled his lips impatiently. Kuzan Vice Admiral, this is a direct contact from the 5 elders. A Marine Rear Admiral was so shocked that he couldn't even speak clearly. Nani, 5 elders, what happened? Kuzan and Saul, who are Buster Call Vice Admirals, were both shocked. Something bad has happened. Kuzan Vice Admiral, the government chief who landed in Ohara not long ago, CP9 Chief Spangdine, they were all wiped out. The flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki, who escaped from Impel Down last month, suddenly appeared in Ohara. He. Golden Lion Shiki is going to take away the scholars and help him obtain ancient musical instruments. The 5 elders have issued a death order and Golden Lion Shiki must not be allowed to escape with the scholars. The sailors shouted and reported one after another. Nani. Kuzan's voice became louder and louder. Tread. Whoosh. Only the sound of breaking wind could be heard. On the warship not far away, 3 figures rose into the sky on the moonwalk. It was the other 3 Buster Call Vice Admirals besides Kuzan and Saul. They are Magma Vice Admiral Sakazuki, Vice Admiral Flying Squirrel and Vice Admiral Doberman. See this. Kuzan knew that he could no longer take his time leisurely. Saul, you have full control of the warship. I will take the first step. Say it. Vice Admiral Kuzan soared straight into the sky and headed straight for Ohara. At this moment, Ohara main island. The grass in front of the omniscient tree. The lush grass was now soaked in blood. The world government black suit that was captured by Golden Lion Shiki's fluttering ability not long ago. All of them exploded under the squeezing force of the earth. The only ones left were CP9 Commander Spangdine and 2 CP9 guards. After witnessing the horrific scene of his men being blown apart, Spangdane, who had experienced the injury of his chest being blown up, could no longer even cry. He looked at the Golden Lion in horror, holding his breath subconsciously, not even daring to take a breath. Gia ha 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 ha, let me play a game with you. I'll give you 15 seconds to escape as much as you like. Golden Lion Shiki crossed his arms and looked down at the 3 Spangdine people. Trademark huh. Spangdine was stunned. 14, 13, the countdown begins. So they knew. He really only had 15 seconds left to escape. Whoosh. Glasses CP9 did not hesitate to start the 6-style shave and fled. In 1 second, he could travel tens to hundreds of meters. Take me with you, you bastard. Strawbag Chief Spandam screamed in horror. The orange curly-haired CP9 hesitated for a moment. Finally gritted his teeth and ran away with Spandam. There is a bastard, Sir Strawbag. His 6-style shaving speed was also affected, Lee Nuo's, and was reduced by more than half. Only 10 seconds were enough for them to escape into the forest. Damn it, that bastard Losky, I will never spare him when I get back. And that guy Golden Lion Shiki actually harmed me. Bastard Golden Lion, disappear under the gunfire of Buster Call. Spandane tremblingly took out the golden phone bug from his pocket. Just press. The next second, whoosh, the bright golden sword light shines. Passed by Spangdine's shoulder, cut off his arm easily. The incision is as smooth as a mirror. Gia ha 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 ha, I found you. Chapter 214 Golden Lion Shiki's Buster Call Vice Admiral open black lens bracket please subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Poof. PFFTSSSSSSSSs. Blood spurted out from Spangdine's arm like a fountain. Spangdine's thinking also slowed down. Until I saw the gushing blood. The severe pain from the broken arm finally hit my heart. There was a shrill scream like a pig being killed. It hurts. It hurts me so much. My arm. My arm. Spangdine fell to the ground and rolled around. Gia ha 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 ha, I found you. Golden Lion Shiki's crazy laughter came from the sky. The orange curly-haired CP9 raised his head in fear, his body trembling uncontrollably. Damn. Lousy's arm. You can't forgive it. Get on. Kill him. Under the attack of severe pain, Spangdine's spirit was close to collapse. The difference in strength between the enemy and ourselves is somewhat unclear. The orange curly-haired CP9 who wanted to run away was a beat slower because of his order. He could only watch helplessly as the terrifying golden sword energy attacked him. Iron Body. Orange curly-hair CP9 subconsciously cast Iron Body. Poof. Blood splattered. His iron body was broken. Under the erosion of Golden Lion Shiki's sword energy, his body was almost cut in half. You're next. A cruel smile appeared on Golden Lion Shiki's face. CP9's commander, Spangdine, is a veritable straw bag. His son Spandam also inherited his inferior attributes. The father and son are no less bad than the celestial dragons. In the original plot line, the father and son even broke through the sea one after another. Orvia and Robin mother and son. Of course you can't let it go easily. Lion. Thousand Slice Valley. Golden Lion Shiki swings the double CDDE swords on his feet. Countless densely packed golden sword energies fell. Without killing Spangdine, his body was cut into pieces and covered with bruises. Comparable to the late punishment order, Spangdine let out an unprecedented scream. What happened? Is this the howl of some animal? It always feels so permeable. The naval headquarters elite Kuzan, Doberman and Flying Squirrel who landed on the coast of Ohara shivered unconsciously. Let's go quickly, we must not let that golden lion escape. Magma Vice Admiral Sakazuki, wearing a gray hood, said decisively. The words just fell. The next second, only a loud rumble was heard. In the middle of the Ohara forest, a huge lion rises. In the lion's mouth, Spangdine, who had no flesh left on his body, was hung up. The limbs and head are each connected to an earth hand. Gia ha 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 ha, world government, this is a gift for you. On top of the lion's head, Golden Lion Shiki's big hands suddenly clasped together. The next second, the 5 hands of the earth on Spangdine's body tightened. Only a tearing sound was heard. CP9 Chief Spangdane's body was torn apart. The dead can no longer die. Damn, what a cruel method this is. Vice Admiral the Flying Squirrel was filled with indignation. This is a provocation. Kai Guguo's provocation. We must not allow that evil party to continue to show off its power. Vice Admiral Doberman tightened his grip on the long knife in his hand. It seems there is nothing left to say. Vice Admiral Kuzan narrowed his eyes slightly. Let's go. Vice Admiral Sakazuki's knees suddenly bent, his feet crushed the ground, and his figure suddenly shot out. Ice Cube. 2-thorn spear. Vice Admiral Kuzan folded his hands. 2 ice spears slowly emerged from around him, following the movements of his hands. The ice spear suddenly shot out towards the Golden Lion Shiki in the distance. Clang. 2 soft sounds. Golden Lion Shiki wields the famous sword Sakura-ju with his right foot. Cut off Kuzan's ice spear. Gia ha 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 ha, this time it's Marines Vice Admirals. They are just a bunch of young brats who want to fight with me. If you want to keep me here, you must at least come with those 2 bastards Garp and Sengoku. Golden Lion Shiki Haki's roar. Asshole Golden Lion, don't underestimate us. Vice Admiral the Flying Squirrel shouted, swung his long sword, and made an astonishing flying slash. We are the Vice Admiral of our headquarters. Vice Admiral Doberman also struck out with a powerful and heavy blow, forming a pincer attack with the Flying Squirrel. Gia ha 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 ha, there's still a long way to go. Golden Lion Shiki wields his famous sword with both feet at will. Two huge sword energy that can cut mountains flew out from the blades of Sakuraju and Mukuru. It was easy to crush the sword energy of the two Vice Admirals. At the same time, their bodies were pushed to the ground. Two bottomless ravines were cut on the ground. Kuzan. Was Golden Lion Shiki so powerful before? Chapter 215. Armed Lion Majesty vs Magma Great Eruption. Please subscribe. Advertise here. Two naval headquarters elite Vice Admirals, Flying Squirrel and Doberman, fell to the ground at the same time. Even though he tried his best, he was still cut down by Golden Lion Shiki's casual blow, causing him to vomit blood. And this is only the first confrontation. Anyway, it's a bit scary. Damn it, what's going on with this Golden Lion bastard? Vice Admiral Doberman gritted his teeth unwillingly and covered his heart with one hand to calm the surging blood. Anyway, the previous slash was really too terrifying. And he slashed not with his hands, but with his feet. He is even more terrifying than before. Vice Admiral the Flying Squirrel's face turned pale, and the hands holding the knife could not stop trembling slightly. After 5 years in Impel Down, and even losing a pair of feet, is it possible that he is stronger now than before? What a joke. Vice Admiral Doberman found it difficult to accept this fact. Gia ha 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 ha, Marine Brats, who do you think I am? I am the flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki. The 5 years I spent at Impel Down were not wasted. I am already a great swordsman, but my swordsmanship has improved even more. Golden Lion Shiki laughed proudly. Later, he explained his power to Flying Squirrel, Doberman and Kuzan. Dispel their inner doubts. After all, it was an accident earlier. He did take it a little more seriously. Demonstrated inconsistent strength. Wait a moment. 3 people. It should be 4 people. Golden Lion Shiki reacted. The first people to land on Ohara were supposed to be 4 naval headquarters Vice Admirals. Except for the 3 Kuzan people in front of them. And Sakazuki. Golden Lion Shiki's expression changed. Observation Haki radiates. The first thing to do was to lock in the Vice Admiral who had never participated in the war and was quietly sneaking around. His target is the scholars of Ohara. As long as we get rid of the scholars who can decipher the ancient weapon, his conspiracy will be self-defeating. Vice Admiral Sakazuki thinks clearly. Be prepared to start at the root. Remove all threats. Compared to the legendary flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki, who is tricky to kill. Of course, it is much easier to kill the soft persimmon scholars of Ohara. Sakazuki's eyes were fixed on the dome of earth in front of the omniscient tree. The most lethal Logia lava fruit ability is quietly activated. Sakazuki raised his magma-formed right arm. The right arm rises in the wind. It's like turning into a giant's fist. It's over. Great eruption. Vice Admiral Sakazuki strikes out fiercely. The fist like a giant rushed mercilessly towards the dome where the scholars lived. Lion Majesty. An angry shout sounded like thunder. The island and the earth seemed to be resurrected, making a rumbling sound. The ground in front of the Ohara scholars suddenly rose up. A 100-meter-tall lion's head rises from the ground, roaring to the world. Drink. Vice Admiral Sakazuki shouted without fear. Send his magma fist into the lion's mouth. Open it. Under the high temperature burning of magma. Please give me flowers. The water in the earth evaporates rapidly. On the surface of the 100-meter lion's head, dried dust and soil fell rustlingly. A series of criss-crossing cracks spread in all directions. It seems that it may disintegrate at any time. But the next second, the ever-expanding lion's head suddenly shrank. In an instant, it changed from 100 meters to 50 meters. At the same time, a dark filling appeared in the cracks on the surface of the lion's head. That's armament Haki flowing. It adds a bit of awesomeness to the lion's head. Ho ho ho. The king of beasts roared repeatedly. The lion's mouth suddenly closed, completely biting off and devouring Vice Admiral Sakazuki's magma arm. Ah! Sakazuki yelled and backed up. His face no longer looked as confident and calm as before. His face was ferocious. His left hand was tightly covering his bleeding right arm. That was the wound left by the lion's teeth. Real or fake? You're kidding. That Golden Lion Shiki, when did he become able to do this? Flying Squirrel, Doberman and Kuzan all screamed. Sakazuki, are you okay? Doberman asked nervously. I'm okay. Sakazuki used the high temperature of magma to burn and stop the bleeding. He stared at the Golden Lion Shiki on the top of the lion's head not far away with a sinister expression. Gia ha ha ha. Golden Lion Shiki smiled darkly. Your opponent today is me. Only by breaking through me can you do what you want. Before that, don't think about breaking the rules of the game. Chapter 216 Is Golden Lion so strong? Aokiji doubts life. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Advertise here. The battle between the 4 naval headquarters elite Vice Admiral and the flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki resumes. The ice cube bursts into the pheasant's mouth. The dog bites the red lotus. Frozen Vice Admiral Kuzan and Magma Vice Admiral Sakazuki attack together. Phew. The giant frozen bird chirped. Woof. The black and red hellhound roared. Gia ha 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 ha, you are just a puppy or a chicken, surrender to the majesty of the king of beasts. Golden Lion Shiki laughed. A big hand waved. The ground surges. The huge lion head roars on stage, filling the sky with fierce power. There was a fierce conflict with Kuzan's Ice Bird and Saw, 493, Kaski's Hellhound. The two swordsmen Vice Admiral Flying Squirrel and Doberman will naturally not be idle. He swung his sword once left and right again, flanking Golden Lion Shiki. Golden Lion takes his time. Like a great conductor at a concert. Dance with your hands and control the earth to fight against two Logia users, Kuzan and Sakazuki. At the same time, the two swords on both feet were waving and waving, lightly suppressing the joint attack of Yushu and Dao Bofu. Time passes minute by minute. Ohara battlefield. The battle between the Flying Big Pirates and the naval headquarters Vice Admirals is still stalemate and fierce. The more the fight goes on, the expressions on the faces of Kuzan, Sakazuki, Flying Squirrel and Doberman are the more exciting they are. Emotions called shock and disbelief surged into their hearts. After all, they never knew. The flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki is so powerful. He was able to fight against four of them at the same time. To know, as the direct disciple of the legendary director of Impel Down, Kuzan was among the elite Vice Admirals before he ate the frozen fruit. With the powerful increase in Logia's capabilities, its strength has increased even more, almost approaching the Admiral, the highest combat strength of naval headquarters. Same reason. Sakazuki, who was originally a monster Vice Admiral, gained the power of Logia lava fruit after eating it. His strength has apparently reached the Admiral level. The two of them plus Porsalino. 3 Logia Vice Admiral has almost been confirmed as the next Marine's third general. Just because some merits are missing. In addition, the above Admiral and Marshal have not retired. That's why I have always been at the level of Vice Admiral. On strength, Kuzan and Sakazuki are already genuine admirals. Although Vice Admiral Flying Squirrel and Vice Admiral Doberman are a little different, they are also the elites who successfully graduated from the first Impel Down Hell training. 2 admirals. 2 elite Vice Admirals. The 4 of them joined forces and attacked with all their strength. Even if it is a legendary pirate, it should be captured early. However, now, this flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki is actually so lively. With 1 against 4, he didn't lose at all. This is the premise after he was imprisoned in Impel Down for 5 years and lost his feet. No matter how you look at it, it's all too abnormal. Even a great pirate as famous as Roger and Whitebeard. It shouldn't be so powerful. There seems to be something wrong with this Golden Lion Shiki. Kuzan narrowed his eyes slightly and looked solemn. Gia ha 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 ha. Marine brat, don't make excuses, there's no shame in being unable to defeat Lousy. After all, Lousy is the flying pirate Golden Lion, cough, cuck. Golden Lion Shiki laughed proudly, and suddenly coughed twice violently. The originally rosy face suddenly turned pale. See this? Flying Squirrel and Doberman couldn't help but their eyes lit up. I know, this Lousy has been on the soles of his feet since just now. Vice Admiral Flying Squirrel said firmly. Yes, he was fighting for his life, so he was able to block our joint attack. Now the secret is finally revealed, it seems he can't hold on much longer. Vice Admiral Doberman confidently analyzed. Gia ha ha ha, how dare you say that, you marine brat. Golden Lion Shiki smiled sinisterly. It seemed like a sore spot had been stabbed. Sakazuki, Kuzan, go all out to capture this old lion. Doberman and Flying Squirrel spoke categorically. Magma Vice Admiral Sakazuki narrowed his eyes slightly and said nothing. Now the only choice is to go up. Kuzan nodded. But that didn't mean that the suspicion in his heart had subsided. His intuition told him 5.4. Even if the appearance, abilities and moves are the same. But the Colonel Driver is quite different. The Golden Lion Shiki in front of him even gave him a familiar feeling during the battle. It's really subtle. Let's go. The Buster Call Vice Admirals shouted with great vigor. He is about to launch a violent attack on Golden Lion Shiki who is at the end of his rope. At this time, bang 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 bang. Only the sound of countless artillery fire was heard. Dark clouds, were covering Ohara. That's Buster Call's gunfire. The Buster Call has begun. Chapter 217. Pig Teammates 5 Elders. Kill the island with one sword. Open black lens bracket please subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Bang 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 bang. The sound of artillery fire continued. 8 warships on all sides of Ohara opened fire. Hundreds and thousands of them were fired. The scene was spectacular. Damn it, who ordered the firing? The golden phone bug hasn't pressed it yet. Vice Admiral Saul yelled. Yes, it's a direct order from the 5 elders. Saul Vice Admiral, a Marine Rear Admiral stammered. Just now, our warship also received orders from the 5 elders. No need to wait for the golden phone bug, just shoot directly. Raise Ohara to the ground. But now Kuzan and the others are still fighting on the island. Are you planning to bury Kuzan and the others together with the cannon fire? Saul yelled angrily. Woo woo, Woo 23 Old Star said, Kuzan Vice Admiral and the others will always find a way to escape. A sailor said weakly. Nani, is this human language? Saul clenched his fists angrily, but was powerless. Once the Buster Call starts, before wiping out everything on the island and even the island itself. Definitely won't stop. Bang bang bang. Continuous artillery fire exploded across Ohara Island. Disrupted the rhythm of the battle. Damn it, has the buster call started? Vice Admiral the Flying Squirrel frowned. At this juncture, who was giving the order? Vice Admiral Doberman spoke dissatisfied. It was clear that after a while, they would be able to capture the Golden Lion Shiki. By then, everything will be under control. But now Buster Call's guns are falling. Once again, the situation of the battle was changed. After all, cannonballs don't have eyesight. They don't turn around because they're Buster Call Vice Admiral. Gia ha ha ha, you Marines really don't follow any rules. In this case, Lousy won't be polite to you anymore. Golden Lion Shiki grinned. Whoosh, an astonishing sound broke through the air. Golden Lion Shiki shakes in a Z shape. The figure is like a ghost spinning, jumping, and flying among the cannonballs in the sky. Chance. Magma Vice Admiral Sakazuki had a thought. Once again, the Magma Punch was aimed at the scholars of Ohara. However, he didn't wait for his Magma Punch. The next second, countless pitch-black cannonballs flew straight towards him. All the cannonballs touched by Golden Lion Shiki's big hands became his weapons, like arms and fingers. Even those with Logia abilities. But it is not completely immune to the impact damage of elemental bursts. They were bombarded by hundreds of artillery shells at once. Even if he is as strong as Sakazuki, he can barely handle it. The ones that were blown flew away. Logia's elementalization blocked most of the damage for him. But the remaining small part still made his clothes fly, his face was dark, and he looked miserable. Gia ha 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 ha. Golden Lion Shiki laughed proudly. Continue to collect the cannonballs in the sky for your own use. Become a humanoid bomber. Kuzan, the flying squirrel, and the Doberman head-hugging rat scurried away. A single cannonball, they are completely fearless. A dozen of them can be cut off easily at one time. But hundreds of shells came at once. Exploded around them. Even a strong body cannot bear it. Just as Flying Squirrel and Doberman had predicted. The Buster Call launched at this moment has had a negative effect. A complete pig teammate, with the mobility and characteristics of Lion Fruit's abilities. Not only did Buster Call's shells not affect the Golden Lion. On the contrary, it became his help. Transform Golden Lion Shiki into an armed bombing helicopter. Only, even if they were blown up and thrown around. Kuzan still couldn't help but sigh. He's meowing. Was Golden Lion Shiki ever so fast before? Even if the Lion Fruit ability can give the user the ability to fly. But this speed is too exaggerated. It's almost as good as Lao Huang's flashing ability. If it were during the battle before. If Golden Lion Shiki shows this speed. They are afraid they will be defeated. Sure enough, there is something wrong with the Golden Lion today. Kuzan couldn't help but think to himself. Chased by artillery fire, Kuzan, Sakazuki, Flying Squirrel and Doberman were forced into the forest area. I want to use the complex terrain of the forest to hinder the power of the artillery shells. In fact, their strategy was successful. After entering the forest, the gunfire that chased them all the way was suspended. The four Kuzans looked at each other on each side. Just wanted to check the situation. The next second. But he saw a terrifying golden sword energy descending from the sky that seemed to separate the world from the sky. It struck the forest boundary of Ohara. Rumble, rumble. The entire island of Ohara was split into two by this sword energy. The violent roaring sound continued. The next second. More and more shocking and horrifying things happened. Start with the dividing line that separates the islands. The other half of the island where the omniscient tree is located gradually rises. Not good. Kuzan and Sakazuki's expressions suddenly changed. The reason is already clear. Gia ha 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 ha, Marine, that's the end of today's game. Next time I see you, I will bring you a bigger surprise. Golden Lion Shiki burst into laughter. A big wave of his hand. Half of the Ohara suddenly rose into the sky. Chapter 218 Admiral Sengoku is shocked. Ohara flies to the sky. Open black lens bracket please subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Stop, stop, stop it. Didn't you see? The warship's cannonballs became the weapon of the Golden Lion. Vice Admiral Saul shouted at the top of his lungs. In order to prevent the warships from continuing to fire. However, the results were minimal. Except for the warships he and Kuzan were in charge of. The other 8 warships were still pouring artillery fire all the time. Put me through Sengoku Admiral's phone number. Vice Admiral Saul ordered. At this moment, Naval Headquarters, Marineford. Admiral Sengoku's office. Ever since West Blue received the signal to start the operation this morning. Sengoku was a little absent-minded, always feeling that there was an ominous premonition. It's not just intuition. It is also the reflection of observation hockey after he has practiced to an extremely advanced level. You can't completely believe it, but you can't completely disbelieve it either. He is in charge of this buster call to West Blue Ohara. Spangdine's golden telephone bug was also given to him. Closely related to him. In front of his desk, Sengoku was motionless holding a document to be processed. It was rare for him to get distracted while working. At this time, brew. The phone on the table rang. It was Buster Call. This is the 4th ship of Buster Call, Sengoku Admiral. This is Sengoku, please say. Sengoku said solemnly. Sengoku Admiral, something bad is going to happen. Vice Admiral Saul quickly answered the phone. Saul, what happened? Speak slowly. Sengoku said. Admiral, the flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki appeared in Ohara, the world government's people were wiped out on the island, and now, 1. Saul immediately explained everything to Sengoku in a concise manner. What did you say? After listening to Saul's report, Admiral Sengoku finally couldn't sit still anymore and stood up suddenly in shock. Golden Lion. Shiki bastard. He showed up at Ohara. Why are you reporting such an important thing now? Sengoku shouted angrily. Mr. Sengoku, now is not the time to say this, please quickly order the termination of Buster Call. Today, the Golden Lion seemed to have taken a shot of gunpowder, it was so powerful. Even if Kuzan and Sakazuki join forces, they can't defeat it at all. Instead, they are forced into danger. Saul arrived again and again. Quote exclamation mark. Quote. Despite Sengoku's calmness, after understanding the battle situation, his expression changed again and he was completely shocked. Golden Lion Shiki is very strong. At this point, Sengoku certainly knows this best. Since more than 20 years ago, the two sides have had countless confrontations. But for this Buster Call Vice Admiral, the lineup is so strong. Admiral Sengoku is also clear. Let alone the Flying Squirrel and Doberman. This time, there are two promising Logias in the Vice Admiral who are destined to take over the Admiral's position. Sengoku knows the strength of Aokiji Kuzan and Akainu Sakazuki best. However, even though they joined forces, they were still suppressed by the Golden Lion who had been imprisoned in Impel Down for 5 years. Just when Sengoku was distracted by this ridiculous truth, suddenly Zhao Wanghao heard a rumble of thunder among the phone calls. What followed was a chaotic chorus of shouts. Just listening to the sound is enough to imagine what kind of chaotic scene the warship is now. What happened? Saul, answer me, what happened? Sengoku roared as the veins on his forehead swelled. Sengoku Admiral, Golden Lion. That Golden Lion flew Ohara Island into the sky. Vice Admiral Saul's Adam's apple rolled hard, and his report changed intermittently. Chapter 219 Golden Lion Shiki becomes the hero. Roger, please subscribe. Advertise here. Rumble, rumble, rumble. A thunderous roar filled the sky and the earth. In full view, half of Ohara Island is not affected by gravity and suddenly rises into the sky. Such a shocking picture shocked the entire audience. For a moment, even Buster Call's artillery fire came to a standstill. Yes, that's right, that's the real terror of the flying pirate. The great flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki. That is undoubtedly me. The ability of Paramesha Lion Fruit, what a terrifying power this is. I have seen this picture before. In this world, the only one who has the ability to do this is the Golden Lion. Not good. If that half of the island falls, we will all be wiped out. Emotions called 030 shock, horror, and fear spread among the 10 Buster Call warships. Fortunately, the ascending island had no intention of falling. Gia ha 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 ha, you marine brats, you're going to report today. See you next time, I will give you an unprecedented gift. Golden Lion Shiki laughed and flew away with Ohara under Marine Buster Call's nose. Damn it, Vice Admiral the Flying Squirrel punched the tree trunk, leaving a deep punch mark. That Golden Lion bastard, is it possible that he wants to bring the ancient weapon back to the sea next time? Vice Admiral Doberman took a breath, his face full of unwillingness and fear. The legendary flying pirate plus the ancient weapon. The world will really be turned upside down. What makes them even worse is, now they can only watch Golden Lion Shiki escape. In terms of mobility, their moonwalk is not as good as Golden Lion's lion fruit. But the biggest reason why they couldn't pursue them was the cannonballs flying all over the sky. Whenever they show signs of pursuit, it was a bombing attack. No one can withstand it. If it were Flash Vice Admiral Porcelino, with his speed, it would be possible to pursue him. It is completely out of reach for them alone. That monster. Sakazuki looked gloomy, but in the end he could only helplessly loosen his fist. Allah, with a monster like this, it doesn't matter if there is an ancient weapon. Kuzan sighed. Kuzan, what do you mean? Flying Squirrel and Doberman asked suspiciously. Nothing. Kuzan waved his hand. This Buster Call operation is a complete failure. Let's pack up and prepare to report back to the headquarters. CDCF. The Endless Sky. A floating sky island flies in the sky carrying a giant tree with a history of more than 5,000 years. In front of the omniscient tree, the raised dome of Earth slowly recedes. Scholars led by Clover Dr. Kroba reappeared. Looking at the lion-like back not far away, every face has a look of vigilance and fear. Golden Lion Shiki, what are your intentions? If you want us to help you find the ancient weapon, you'd better give up as soon as possible. We will never help others do evil. That's right. The scholars plucked up the courage and spoke decisively. Ohara scholars, I appreciate your integrity, but Golden Lion Shiki, change the topic. The next second, a scene that stunned the scholars of Ohara occurred. I saw the tall figure not far away with his back to them turning his head. The face that appeared before them once again had completely changed. The original ugliness and viciousness are no longer there. What emerges instead is unparalleled handsomeness and kindness. Quote. Roger. Mr. Roger. Lord Roger. Hero Roger. The scholars' screams full of shock and disbelief echoed under the sky for a long time. Extreme shock suddenly invaded their whole bodies. They would never have imagined it. A second ago he was a ferocious flying pirate. At this moment, he became the person they admired and respected the most. Impel Down, the legendary hero. At the same time, they are also the legendary existence of Ohara. White Yasha Roger. Chapter 220. Taking Ohara to the Golden Land of Sky Island. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Advertise here. What exactly is going on? Where's Golden Lion Shiki? The flying pirate has become Mr. Roger. Idiot, if you don't become, from beginning to end, you are Lord Roger. Yes, yes, the hero Roger is here to save us. The scholars were all shocked, excited and even cried with joy. Sorry, everyone, for some reasons, I can only do this and frighten you. Roger smiled. No, Sir Roger, where are you talking? We are so lucky that you came to save us. The scholars waved their hands. Mr. Roger. Dr. Clover Cloba trembled and knelt on the ground. Compared to our lives, I am more grateful that you have preserved 5,000 years of cultural heritage for this rescue. There is no way I can repay you for this great kindness. Seeing this, other scholars also knelt down on the ground one after another and worshipped devoutly. Mr. Roger, Lord Roger, thank you so much. For a long time, the scholars led by Clover Dr. Kroba then stood up one after another. Partially returns to the omniscient tree to sort out the library that was destroyed by the world government's black suit. More than half of the people were still standing behind Roger. Facing the vast sea of clouds, a look of confusion appeared on his face unconsciously. Master Roger, where should we go next? A scholar spoke blankly. Go somewhere beyond the reach of the world government. A confident smile appeared on Roger's lips. Hear the words. The expressions on the scholars' faces gradually became vivid. Everyone speculated about where Roger was going to take them. Some say Wano. In the past, Wano, which had always been closed to the outside world, would certainly be a place to go. But now, Kazuki Oden is vigorously promoting the founding of the country. Once the country is founded in the future, when people from the outside come in, the omniscient tree has such a conspicuous presence that it is impossible to hide it. That will cause a lot of trouble. Other scholars speculate on the final island of Raftel. Roger still just shook his head. As for Raftel, world government is indeed nowhere to be found. But there is some special power on that island that corrodes the human body. It's okay to stay for a year and a half, but it's not okay to stay for a long time. It's not Wano. It's not Raftel. What is that place? Sir Roger, please tell me a little bit. The scholars are full of expectations and hopes. See this. Roger no longer remains a mystery. Golden Land Shantora. The answer is revealed. Golden Country, Shandora. The scholars were stunned at first. Not long after. The expressions on the faces of several of the scholars gradually became excited. Shandora, the Golden Land, could it be the Golden Township? The Golden City that Nolando, the great talker of North Blue, visited 400 years ago. Please give me flowers. Scholars who had studied the legend and history of Golden Township shouted excitedly. Roger smiled and nodded. Wow, there was an uproar in the whole place. It turns out to be the Golden Land. Does Shantora, the Golden Land, really exist? Isn't that the legend of North Blue? Idiot, Mr. Roger already said yes, so it's a sure thing. The legendary Golden City of Shantora, how splendid their history will be. And how wonderful is the sound of the Golden Bell Tower mentioned in Nolando's storybook. I can't wait to explore. Scholars who have found a new historical goal are gearing up and eager to try. I can't wait to uncover the true identity of the mysterious Golden Land that has disappeared for 400 years. Sir Roger, where is the Golden Land Shantora? Historical records say he should be in Gaia, but no one has ever arrived except Nolando. A scholar asked with concern. The Golden Land has always existed, but it's just in the sky. Roger pointed in the direction of the distant sky. Wow, shocked uproar among the scholars spread again. Golden Country, is it actually in heaven? No wonder. No wonder no one has been able to find it all these years. Sky Island Golden Land, here we come. 10,000. Chapter 221. The world is shocked. Xinglong Kaido's goal. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Advertise here. 3 days after the Ohara incident on the Scholars Island of West Blue. Reports about this major event quietly spread to the world. If it is according to the ideas of world government, they must suppress this gaffe to the end. It will definitely not spread even a little bit. After all, the Buster Call operation against Ohara failed completely. Scholars who know history are kidnapped by a vicious pirate, which may trigger the return of the ancient weapon at any time. Such a gaffe is also a big blow to the face and prestige of the government and marine. Only, before this Ohara incident, world government has made great propaganda. I want the 530 to use Ohara to scare the monkeys. Use the ruthless, cruel fact of erasing Ohara to dissuade others from interested in a blank 100 years of history. Thus, not just a news agency secretly controlled by the world government. Other news agencies around the world also received the news. There are always bold ones among them. 1 passed to 10, 10 to 100. The Ohara Buster Call incident quickly spread throughout the ocean. Ever since, the whole world was shaken. Civilians across the sea began to panic. The pirates started another round of carnival. He is truly the legendary flying pirate. Not only has the myth of the big prison been broken, but now Ohara has even been easily taken away from the Marine Buster Call. The legendary pirates of the past era were so terrifying. Golden Lion Shiki, if we can follow him, maybe we can conquer the world too. Not bad. Such a powerful legend, coupled with the ancient weapon, is worthy of Laozi's condescension to follow. Boss Shiki, I am willing to serve you. New World, Sphinx. The smiling whale boat Moby Dick is moored quietly. Daddy, look at this. Marco delivers a freshly minted newspaper to Whitebeard. It's unbelievable. The Golden Lion was on our ship just a few days ago, wasn't it? Yes, he also said that he plans to retire temporarily for a while. As soon as I finished speaking, I ran to West Blue again. As the surprise, he said he wanted to give the world the ancient weapon. That guy can't really get the ancient weapon. No, shouldn't what we should be paying attention to is that he single-handedly defeated 4 naval headquarters Vice Admirals. Yes, among them are the 2 monsters Shuadong and Magma. After 5 years in Impel Down, how can an old lion with a severely weakened vitality be so strong? Could it be that he was pretending to be weak when he was on our ship that day? No. You can't fake that look. The captains of the 3rd Division, Diamond Josie, the 4th Division, Saki, the 5th Division, Beasta, and so on, all had surprised faces. Dad, what do you think? The people in the white group who really couldn't figure it out finally looked at their father Whitebeard. Hula la la la, this is really interesting. Whitebeard's pale golden eyes flickered, as if he had thought of something. New World, Beast Island. Ho ho ho, on the island. The roars of hundreds of beasts came and went, one after another. At some point, a high-pitched and loud dragon roar rang out. Then, all the beasts surrendered. What do you think about Kaido, Golden Lion Shiki? You and that Golden Lion were in the same pirate group before, right? Do you think there is any future for us to cooperate with him? Quinn, the broad and fat Brachiosaurus asked. It's better to avoid it. I don't want to deal with that arrogant old lion. Xinglong Kaido curled his lips in displeasure. Back when I was at Rock's Pirate. As an intern, Golden Lion didn't even give him a serious look. Kaido still remembers all of this firmly in his heart. Kaido, shall we stick to the original plan? Pteranodon flew into the sky. For now, let's go to Wano-kuni for a walk. Kurozumi Higurashi and Kurozumi Semimaru are gone, but there seems to be their inner forces there. If we can capture Wano-kuni, we will have a huge arsenal of weapons at our disposal. East Blue, Windmill Village. Gaga. My guess has completely failed. Garp slapped his head and shook his head. I didn't expect that guy from Golden Lion to be so aggressive this time and cause trouble again so soon. Yeah, that guy actually targeted Ohara, who would have thought? Admiral Sengoku shook his head. Speaking of which, 4.5 Garp, do you know the casualties of this buster call? Garp was stunned. I don't know. Admiral Sengoku said. This is really unprecedented. That Golden Lion only took away the scholar and didn't even fight back at our marine. With his ability, can he capsize a few warships at will? Isn't it as easy as drinking water? Admiral Sengoku said. Ha. What's wrong, Sengoku? There are no casualties, isn't that a good thing? Garp was puzzled. Yes, it is indeed a good thing. I just said that casually. Chapter 222 Golden Lion Shiki decided to take the blame. Please subscribe. Advertise here. The impact of the Ohara Buster Call incident continues to unfold. At the same time, Golden Lion Shiki on the cusp. Naturally, it's impossible not to see the overwhelming news. Grand Line somewhere in the vast sky. Several magnificent floating sky islands are scattered high and low. The gorgeous palace on the central winter island. Who suppressed the Marine Buster Call, rescued the Ohara scholar, and plotted to seize the ancient weapon. A lion-like figure danced in the hall. A pair of famous swords clanked on the ground with his feet. At some point, the lion-like man moved. Slap his head. It turns out it's me, it's totally wrong. Fall. Golden Lion Shiki slammed the newspaper to the ground. Hey, Lousy didn't do this. Don't blame Lousy 23 for everything. Why didn't I know Lousy was so powerful now? Golden Lion Shiki looked angry. Boss Shiki, but the photos in the report and the description of the battle are all. Dr. Indigo's face was full of shock and disbelief. Regarding the whereabouts of Golden Lion Shiki these days. As a partner, of course he knows it best. He knows. My captain is staying at home peacefully these days. Didn't go anywhere. But that, Golden Lion, on the news. It's so similar. No matter its appearance, ability or moves. It is simply carved out of the same mold. Asshole, I don't know where you are from. But even if you can imitate my handsomeness, abilities and moves, you are still not me. Lousy will expose your lies. Golden Lion Shiki was furious. A media conference will be held to clarify this matter. However, he didn't even take a few steps. Golden Lion Shiki's figure suddenly paused. A drop of cold sweat broke out from his forehead. He suddenly realized an important problem. The reason why I was able to escape from prison so smoothly. Not just because of his plot. Behind that, it seemed that there was a pair of invisible hands pushing him to escape from prison. There are also the famous swords Sakuraju and Kuku that he now uses as his legs. Even if they look exactly the same. But Golden Lion Shiki can feel it. This is not his double sword. The real Sakura Toyuki died at the feet of that fake. This way, the identity of the fake has been revealed. Gia ha 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 ha. Gia ha 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 ha. Golden Lion Shiki suddenly smiled and laughed. What kind of man are you? You can really predict the future, so you planned all of this early. Captain Shiki, Dr. Indigo tilted his head with suspicion and confusion. I don't understand why my captain's boss laughed suddenly. Didn't he say that a press conference would be held to reveal the truth? Never mind. Golden Lion Shiki suddenly shook his head. What if I help you take the blame this time? Dr. Indigo, there is nothing to say about this. Golden Lion Shiki solemnly warned. Yes, Boss Shiki. Although Indigo didn't understand, he still responded honestly. Gia ha 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 ha, but it's okay. After this incident, my reputation has become even louder. In the future, with the name of Ancient Weapon, I think a large number of followers will come to my door. This is a good thing, Roger Byakusha, just take good care of it. The flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki will finally return. Ohara Buster Call Incident, 1 week later. The oldest tree with a history of 5,000 years, the Omniscient Tree, reaches an altitude of 10,000 meters. Not far ahead, a white ocean appeared in the sight of Ohara scholars. 793 slowly took off after a week. Even weak scholars have gradually adapted to the low oxygen environment at high altitudes. This is 10,000 meters high in the sky. Look over there, it's the White Sea. Really, look at the sea, there are still creatures. So what happened? There really is a new ecology at an altitude of 10,000 meters. Does the legendary Sky Island really exist? If this is the case, we have one more research topic. Scholars stood on the edge of the island and talked about it. At this time, a sharp-eyed scholar suddenly widened his eyes. Look over there, islands. Islands. Is that the golden land of Gaia that Master Roger said was washed up to an altitude of 10,000 meters? When? The melodious bell sounded, which was unlike human vocal music, attracting the attention of the little girls. That's the song of the Golden Bell Tower. Chapter 223 The God of Sky Island, Roger. Open black lens bracket please subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertise here. When. The melodious, high-pitched golden bells echoed in the sky. The lingering sound lingers for a long time. Under the golden bells that are as beautiful as fairy music. Everyone closed their eyes, listen quietly and pray. Except the cleansing and baptism from the golden bell. 400 years ago, because of the terrifying ocean currents, most of Gaia Island was brought up to an altitude of 10,000 meters. The Golden Bell Tower, a sacred relic of Shantora, has also been lost since then. The Golden Bell, as beautiful as celestial music, became a perfect sound. Starting from the great warrior Kalgara 400 years ago. The warriors of Sandora no longer think about taking back their homeland and rekindling the destruction of Sandora. The war between Sandora and the indigenous people of Sky Island lasted for nearly 400 years. Until more than 10 years ago. The arrival of a certain man. It has changed the disputes and chaos that have been stalemate on Sky Island for nearly 400 years. He can cover the sky with just one hand. Turning your hands makes clouds, turning your hands makes rain. One hand supports the Golden Bell Tower that has disappeared for 400 years. Accompanied by the singing of the Big Bell Tower, it fell from the sky. Like a true god descending into the world. The cruel ruler who was regarded as a god by the natives of Sky Island was completely vulnerable to him and was about to collapse. Not only that, he even has the power of resurrecting the dead. No matter how traumatized you are, as long as there is still breath left, he can be saved. Under the miracle of God, the Sandians and Sky Islanders reconciled their feud. Shandia, on behalf of the Great Elder, shook hands with Ganfer, the Sky Knight representative on Sky Island. The dispute that lasted for nearly 400 years has since ended. And the man who was regarded as a god by both Sandia and the people of Sky Island, his name is Roger. Dang dang dang. The golden bell rang a full 18 times. The newly renovated golden city of Shantara. The people of Sky Island and Sandia all looked satisfied. People dispersed. The picture is peaceful. To the end. There were only 2 figures left in front of the Golden Bell Tower. Mom, when will Dad come? The 8-year-old Lolita, who is pretty, puts her chin in her hands and looks into the sky with her big eyes. Come on, don't worry, Robin, Dad and Grandpa Kloba will be here soon. Oravia smiled and touched her daughter's little head. Months ago, after learning that the world government will conduct a comprehensive and thorough investigation of Ohara, the island of West Blue Scholars. At the end of the day, the Buster Call of Extinction is about to be launched. Oravia, who was born in Ohara, was extremely anxious. Until Roger informed him of his rescue plan. Oravia's hanging heart was finally relieved. It's just that I didn't see everyone return safely for one day. She could never feel completely reassured. Sudden. At some point, wolf smoke ignited on the walls of the golden city of Shantora. Represents the occurrence of the situation. Lord Chief. Lord Ganfer. From the observation point at the highest point of the golden city, Sandia and the Sky Island observers shouted in unison. What happened? Bath Earth, swaths of Ba Earth are flying in our direction. A Zandian warrior let out a shocking cry. What did you say? There was an uproar in the square. Pieces of Bass Earth are flying in the sky. How can such a thing be possible? Before the Sky Island guard finished speaking, he suddenly corrected himself. It's not just him. At this moment, people all over the golden city of Shantora were silent in unison. Whether it's the warriors of Sandia or the divine team of Ganfer. Everyone's eyes widened. The chin almost touches the ground. Watch the floating Sky Island group coming from far and near. Everyone's faces were filled with extreme shock and disbelief. Buzz Earth is really flying. And soon they arrived at the center of the city, directly above the Golden Bell Tower. Also arriving at the same time were Sky Knight Ganfer and the Chief of Sandia. Don't wait until they are horrified. The next second. The little girl in front of the Golden Clock Tower suddenly jumped up. Mom, look, that's the omniscient tree. Robin said excitedly. Orvia nodded heavily. Her pretty face was filled with excitement and joy. After waiting for so many days, Li Hao, everyone is finally back. And not just everyone, even the omniscient tree came. Mrs. Orvia, what is going on? Sky Knight Ganfer asked. Orvia wiped the tears of excitement from the corners of her eyes and explained, everyone, don't be nervous, it's Lord Roger who is back. What, Nani? The soldiers on the bell tower square suddenly raised their heads in shock. Wait until they see the figure of the supreme being they revered. The worried expressions on people's faces gradually dissipated. Extreme excitement and fanaticism came over me. Quit at this moment. The whole Sky Island was shaken by it. Chapter 224 Shocking. Excited. God Roger is back. Open black lens bracket please subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertise here. That's God. Lord Kami. God Roger is back. Master Roger is back. When the majestic figure in the sky appears in people's sight, the entire bell tower square suddenly erupted into a roaring noise. Their prayers succeeded. God is really back. This moment. The heavy emotions that originally enveloped the hearts of the soldiers disappeared. All that's left is extreme excitement and enthusiasm. And endless worship of the God within them. Oh. Is this the legendary Golden City Shantora? I smell history. This place is well worth studying and exploring. On Ohara Island, scholars cheered excitedly. But, God. Who are the 480 people in Shenda? Some scholars tilted their heads in confusion. Idiot, do you even need to think about this? Of course it's Master Roger. Master Roger is the god of Sky Island. He is also the god of our Ohara. Yes, look at my brain. Dang. The melodious and high-pitched golden bell rang again. Let's go down together. Roger waved calmly. It doesn't take a moment. The small island of Ohara descends slowly, settled dozens of meters above the ground. Roger led the scholars to a platform and settled in the bell tower square. The warriors headed by Sky Knight Ganfer all knelt down towards Roger. Welcome back, Lord Roger. People roared with cheers, CDBE. The sound surged. Even the clouds in the sky collapsed. Let's all get up. Roger raised his hand slightly. People kneeling on one knee were lifted up by an inexplicable force. Lord Roger, Dr. Kloba, everyone. Dad, Grandpa Kloba, uncles and aunts. In front of the Golden Bell Tower, Orvia and Little Robin shouted happily in unison. Oh. Orvia and Little Robin, we meet again. Robin-chan. Orvia is here too, it's really great. Now, we can study together again. The scholars all shouted happily. After some pleasantries, scholars' attention was quickly attracted by the Golden Bell Tower and the historical text at the bottom of the bell tower. Everyone, listen to me, listen to me. Robin clapped his hands showily to attract the attention of the scholars. The history of this golden base is recorded in this article, but it is the location of the ancient weapon Poseidon. There is also the true form of Poseidon, a mermaid princess who only appears once every few hundred years. Alas, the scholars pretended to be surprised. We have actually known these secrets about Luo-chun for a long time. But for now, in order not to discourage Robin's enthusiasm for archaeology, they still looked surprised together. Little Robin, so awesome. As expected of Lord Roger's daughter. Yes, Ronan will definitely become an outstanding archaeologist in the future. Listening to the compliments of uncles and aunts. Robin touched Chong's nose sheepishly. How about it, Orvia, are you satisfied with this place? Roger asked with a smile. Well, it couldn't be better here. Orvia smiled sweetly. Take advantage of the fact that no one is paying attention. The decisive Roger had a hard slap on his face. I want it too. Robin, who saw this scene from nowhere, quickly ran forward and jumped into Roger's arms. Roger and Orvia each took a bite, leaving lip marks full of saliva and giggling. The godlike Roger is back. Naturally, a grand banquet was required. That night, centered on the Golden Bell Tower Square, a huge bonfire party begins. During the banquet, Roger also took the opportunity to tell Ganfer and the old chief about the origin and identity of the Ohara scholars. For the guests Roger brought, Ganfer and the old chief were not xenophobic in the slightest. After further learning that they are all intellectuals from Qinghai, Ganfer and the old chief couldn't help but show excitement on their faces. Although Sky Island also has its own inherent culture. But compared to Qinghai, it is much shallower. Nowadays, there are so many cultural people and even the largest and oldest library in Qinghai has settled there. They are naturally welcome. Chapter 225 Kaido, Moria, and the government gather at Wano. Please subscribe. Advertise here. Another week has passed in the blink of an eye. The omniscient tree takes root in the 10,000-meter Sky Island. Sky Island also enters a new era here. Ohara scholars are also continuing to promote the archaeology of Golden Township. Such a large area of ruins would probably take a few years to complete. During this period, Dr. Kloba also talked with many elders of the Sandia clan. Asked them questions about the historical text. It's just that after so many years, coupled with the crisis in the middle, there are actually not many ancient teachings left. But the most important thing remains: hide the true meaning in your heart and remain silent. We are the writers of history, and we are with the singing of the bell tower. Except for archaeology, the scholars of Ohara also built a small academy under the tree of omniscientity. Used to teach children in Angel Island and Sandia to read and write. This move was unanimously applauded by adults on both sides. It's just the little kids who are at the age of having fun who are going to suffer. The daily play time is reduced again and again, which is unspeakably miserable. The most typical one is the black boy of the Sandia clan, later the war ghost Weber. He took the lead in skipping classes every now and then. No matter how hard he played, he never remembered anything. He just wanted to follow Roger and learn his skills every day. Roger has no secrets, either, for these believers who regard themselves as gods. He directly and generously donated the 6 postures and hockey's practice methods. Culture must be there. Force is also indispensable. After all, this is the land of gold. Now that the bell is ringing, the legend of the Golden Land will reappear in the public eye. You never know when pirates will come here to plunder on the soaring sea currents. Time flies. Another half-month. Stayed at Sky Island for nearly a month. It's time to go back. With Shaki's ability, coupled with the clone fruit, there will be no flaws. But Roger can't let Shaki be his stand-in all the time. Dang 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 dang, WW, accompanied by the melodious golden bells. The Sky Islanders, Sandians and Ohara scholars bid farewell reluctantly. Roger took Orvia and Robin to bid farewell to the golden land of Sky Island. 3 days later, Roger quietly returns to Impel Down. However, he learned a sudden bad news. Impel Down deputy director, his right-hand man Baka died of illness a few days ago. The news was too sudden. So much so that Roger didn't react for a moment. Why didn't you notify me? Roger said. Because Baka left so suddenly, and so quickly, Shao Kong and everyone from the headquarters came. We didn't have a chance, so we had to ask Shaki to say goodbye. Sorry. Tia apologized. It's me who should be sorry. Roger shook his head lonely. Thus, Impel Down the last old man also left. Roger, don't be sad, Baka left with a smile. He said he had no regrets. Miss Witch comforted her. Roger said nothing. I just took a bottle of wine to the dome on the first floor of the sea and poured it into the sea. Even though he is regarded as a god by the people of Sky Island, he cannot control life, old age, illness and death like a true god. Please give me flowers. The lifespan that pure gold can extend is also limited, and it cannot absolutely control some special diseases. Just like Baka, as early as 10 years ago, Baka fell down once. It was diagnosed by Roger at that time. He suffered from a terminal illness and his final life expectancy was less than 2 years. Fortunately, Roger's pure gold research had been successful at that time. 2 years turned into 20 years. Roger thought that he should be able to develop countermeasures in the past 20 years. 0. I never thought that just after half the time, the person would leave first. Things are always unpredictable. Live longer. See a lot. My heart became calm. Life still has to go on as usual. After Baka's first 7, Impel Down is back to its usual state. Another week later, Magellan, the former warden of Impel Down, was successfully elected as the new deputy director of the prison because of his excellent strength and many years of contribution. Responsible for sitting in the director's office and handling all official duties. Hannibal, the former deputy warden, succeeded Hannibal and became the new warden. Another year passes in the blink of an eye. Time comes to see Circle Calendar 1501. The sea is as restless as ever. New World is even more chaotic. Wano Kuni, who was isolated from the country, also encountered the biggest challenge in 800 years. Kaido of the Beasts, Gecko Moria, and the world government gathered in Wano Kuni. Whether a country is founded or a country is destroyed, it all depends on this battle. Chapter 226 The Dragon of Ghost Island. Demonic Tomb Robber. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Wano Kuni. The country has been closed to the outside world for 800 years. Now we are facing the biggest crisis in 800 years. The cause of everything is still the difference in ideas. End of sailing trip with Whitebeard and Roger. The return of Wano Kuni's Kuri daimyo Kazuki Oden, who spent several years promoting the founding of Wano Kuni. To do this he started from Julie where he ruled. Spread new things from the outside world to the residents of Julie. After several years, the residents of Julie have become more curious about the outer sea. No longer resist things from outside the, May 13th, sea. 1/6 of Wano Kuni, Julie, was fully prepared for the founding of the country. In contrast, other areas of Wano Kuni, Usagi Dawn, Shirayomai, Suzugo, Nozomi, and the central flower city. But it still maintains the inherent traditions since ancient times. Resolutely reject anything from the outside world. Even Shimotsuki Yasui, the white dance daimyo who was close to Kazuki Oden. Our stance on this matter remains firm. But Yasui himself is not such a stubborn person. Yasui was also touched by what Kazuki Oden said. Wano Kuni was the founding state 800 years ago. The reason why I have never supported Oden. All because Oden is not Wano Kuni's general yet. As the leader of the Shimotsuki clan loyal to Kazuki, he must ensure Wano-kuni's unity. Shogun Sukiyaki is still in place now. If he instead supports Kazuki Oden, it is bound to cause Wano-kuni to be divided and in chaos. In this regard, Suzugo's daimyo Shimotsuki Gyumaru also maintained the same idea. The two famous names of Fugetsu and Ugetsu are the same as Sukiyaki in the Flower City. Firmly opposed to Oden's proposal for founding the country and regarded it as heresy. Because of the founding of the country, the relationship between Kazuki Sukiyaki and Kazuki Oden has returned to the freezing point of 20 years ago. In the past, no one thought that the only successor to General Wano-kuni's position was Kazuki Oden. But now not many people dare to mention this sensitive topic. It's not just the apparent confrontation that is tense. The undercurrent beneath Wano-kuni is also turbulent. The first is Onigashima, across the sea from Wano-kuni mainland. It has been a place of exile for criminals since ancient times. But since the Kurozumi rebellion that year, Kuri replaces Onigashima. It has become a place of lawlessness for sinners. Ghost Island was also abandoned. But recently, the abandoned Ghost Island is becoming more and more lively. From time to time, fishermen who go fishing say they have heard the roar of animals at sea. What's more, some people say that they have witnessed the dragon turning over the clouds. Then there is Suzuho in the ice and snow. Recent months. Grave robbing incidents occur frequently. The vast expanse of ice and snow behind the bell has been the burial place of warriors since ancient times. When powerful warriors died, they buried themselves in the snow. At the same time, he replaced the tombstone with his own sword and stood in front of the tomb. Until then, there are also many idle and lazy ronin in Wano-kuni who want to dig up some famous knives and go to the underground black market to exchange money. There are even thoughts of tampering with the national treasure Black Sword Shisui, the legendary sword god Ryoma's sword. But since a certain generation of generals promulgated a strict law, those who steal famous swords and disturb the deceased will be sentenced to death in the street. No one dares to think about burying the famous sword in the tomb anymore. Little has happened in decades. However, in recent months, tomb robbing incidents have become more frequent again. What made Suzugo daimyo Shimotsuki Ushimaru even more angry? This time the tomb robbers were very careless. Just stealing famous swords. Even the frozen corpse of the famous sword owner was dug up. As the daimyo of Suzugo. Such a gaffe in the territory. Naturally, Shimotsuki beef balls will not sit still and wait for death. When the first incident occurred, a large number of warriors were dispatched to squat and patrol among the tombs 3.4 in the ice and snow. In this way, the tomb robbers finally restrained their actions. But strange things also happen. Warriors who go out on patrol sometimes lose their shadows for no apparent reason. What's more, Daimyo Ushimaru's retainers once caught a tomb robber. However, his identity is that of a samurai who died 300 years ago. Now he has turned into a zombie and returned. Also, a samurai who lost his shadow said he saw a demon before he fell into coma. Chapter 227 Kaido's Ambition. Intelligence Organization CP0. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Wow. Rough waves crashed against the rocks. Click. Continuous dazzling lightning strikes, lighting up the dim, dark sky. This is a ghost island that never sees the light of day all year round. According to the local legend of Wano-kuni, the dark clouds that linger over Onigashima are the result of the grievances and ghosts of sinners from past generations. The island is surrounded on all sides by the terrifying Uzumaki. The only safe entrance and exit used to be a strict military fortress. Make sure that the great criminals who are exiled here have no way to escape. It can only become a small skeleton with a skull smaller than that of a giant skull. Under the erosion of time, the former military fortress has become decayed. Even the island itself has been abandoned and ignored. For that island full of ghosts of sinners 23, even the fishermen won't come any closer. Naturally, now in Wano-kuni, no one knows. The abandoned ghost island now has a new owner. No, 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 no. Laughter like the roar of a beast echoed among the skulls in the center of Onigashima. Ghost Island. I like this name and this island very much. The man with two horns on his head nodded with satisfaction. Ha ha ha, Kaido-sama, it would be great if you like it. The purple-haired young man with square head and big ears rubbed his hands with a flattering smile on his face. From time to time I wiped the cold sweat from my forehead. When Kaido was brought to this place of exile, it was said to be a gift to Kaido. For Kurozumi, it was also a big gamble. If possible, the timid Kurozumi Orochi certainly doesn't want to gamble. However, because of the incident 8 years ago, Kurozumi Higurashi and Kurozumi Semimaru who supported him were killed. For the rest, he relied on the multi-headed ability of the phantom beast Yamada no Orochi to narrowly escape with his life. 8 years later, he has been hiding in the darkness of Wano-kuni to survive. Waiting for the opportunity to move, looking for opportunities for revenge. However, he was as timid as a mouse and found it difficult to be alone. Even if you have the cherished and powerful fantasy beast ability. But there is no qualification to fully develop it. I can only live in a muddle-headed way. All he could rely on was Kanjuro, who was undercover in Guri. But at this time, God gave him the curtain. 8 years ago the legacy of Kurozumi Higurashi. The phone bug from overseas rang. That was the strong partnership that Kurozumi Higurashi and Kurozumi Semimaru had contacted 8 years ago. 8 years have passed. Finally got a response from the partner. Kurozumi was overjoyed. He immediately made various promises in order to attract allies to come and plan for great things together. Now, an unprecedentedly powerful ally has truly arrived. And he was very satisfied with his first gift, Ghost Island. This is naturally a very lucky thing for the Kurozumi snake. Only, what Kurozumi doesn't know is that, the reason why Kaido came here with his beasts pirates. It's not because I miss the friendship between the two of them from the Rocks group, Kurozumi Higurashi. Not even because of Kurozumi Orochi's promise. Just because they beasts pirates need a home base. A large number of weapons are needed to strengthen, develop, and seize the big secret treasure. Kurozumi the big snake is just a small chess piece to guide them. Once he successfully captures Wano Kuni, Kaido will completely enslave this country and create a steady stream of arms and weapons for him. Finally, this country will be completely turned into a paradise for pirates, just like Rocks, Beehive Island. 957. Guhehehe, Kaido-sama, if you want to take over this country, the first thing you need to eradicate is the abominable Kazuki Oden. Kurozumi Orochi added. Kazuki Oden. The wine gourd in Kaido's hand paused slightly. There is an inexplicable familiarity with this name. Yes, it's Kazuki Oden. I have a plan to help you win Kazuki Oden easily. Kazuki Oden. Wano Kuni Center, the capital of flowers. Some secret underground base. Several tall men wearing loose white robes and masks were sitting or standing. Photos were pinned to the walls of the room. There were boys, girls, and a 3-year-old child. They are the world government's top intelligence organization, CP0. Chapter 228 5 Elders Dispatch. Roger wants to hunt down the highest authority. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Cipher Poll. This is a secret espionage organization affiliated with the world government. Infiltration, investigation, and assassination are their strengths. Since the development and popularization of 6 styles, the overall strength of CIPHERPOL has also made a leap forward. In the common perception of the world, there are a total of 8 departments in the government intelligence organization. From corporal to CP8, they are responsible for investigating the intelligence of all parties in the sea. In addition, many people know about the existence of CP9 stationed in Eni's lobby. Last of the last, only a few know it. The world government's intelligence organization still has 0. CIPHERPOLAIGISO, commonly known as CP0. They are an institution directly affiliated with the World Nobles, Celestial Dragons. Known as Celestial Dragon's Strongest Shield. At the same time, it is the world's strongest cipher pole. At this moment, the world government espionage organization that infiltrated Wano Kuni is the strongest and most mysterious CP0. I didn't expect that Oden, the samurai of the Roger Pirates, would be the future general of this Wano Kuni. A CP0 spoke in a deep voice. If we go according to the original plan, we should help promote the founding of Wano Kuni and establish arms trade with Wano Kuni, but if the target is Kazuki Maku. Another CP prisoner muttered. As a member of Roger's group. Been to Raftel once, someone who knows the truth about the world. Kazuki Oden is also on their world government's absolute obliteration list. To be honest, CP0 wearing a tiger mask said, Wano Kuni's founding or not has no impact on our actions. All we want is this country's weapons resources and seastone resources. So I still have the same opinion. We assist a puppet to control Wano Kuni ourselves. This is the simplest and most direct method. What you said is simple, but we have evaluated this plan many times and it is too difficult. After all, we know nothing about this country and don't even have candidates. No, if there's someone to choose from, I've already found one. Tiger head mask CP0 pinned a new photo to the wall. That's the submissive Kurozumi, and it's not just a puppet choice, now is also the best time. The tiger head mask CP0 continued. Now this country itself is in a turmoil because of the issue of whether it was founded or not. In addition, besides us, there are 2 other forces that have quietly set up in this country. You mean Kaido and Moria? Yes, I think that in the near future, this country will undergo drastic changes. At that time, the snipe and the clam will fight for the fisherman's profit, and this country will eventually fall into the hands of our government. But we alone are still far from enough manpower. Maybe it's time to contact the 5 elders to send reinforcements. All CP0s nodded in agreement. In addition, another tall and thin CPO stood up. Don't forget to report to the 5 elders that we discovered the bloodline of Roger, the pirate king who quietly escaped from South Blue Battery Island that day. Aren't we not 100% sure about this matter yet? A newcomer, CP0, expressed confusion. I would rather kill the wrong person than let go. The tall and thin CP0 spoke coldly. Besides, we found that foreign mother and son in the territory of Pirate King Roger's former partner. This is the most convincing evidence. This kid must be Roger's son. Kang. A dagger fell on the heartwarming photo of a mother holding her child. Holy Land, Mariajoy. The meeting hall of the 5 elders. I didn't expect something unexpected would happen when I infiltrated Wano Kuni this time. Yes, the bloodline of the Pirate King that was secretly picked up by Roger's group's ship 3 years ago is actually hidden in Wano Kuni, which is closed to the country. No wonder, if it weren't for this chance coincidence, we really wouldn't be able to find it. The world's most powerful people spoke one after another. Since we have encountered it this time, let's deal with this hidden danger by the way. But the most important thing is Wano Kuni's weapon resources. We must get it. The most ancient 5 elders speak categorically. But this time to seize state power, Marine's side may not be able to come forward. CP0 alone may not be able to seize the power from the tiger's mouth, so we have to take action. Curly hair, Lee's good, noble 5 elders said. Then let me go. Samurai 5 elders said, I'll do it too. Playing with power is my specialty. Besides, some things over at Wano should be destroyed. This time I will personally supervise it. Bald Birthmark 5 elders said. Then it's decided. Prosperous military fortune. Impel Down, 5.5 floors underground. Ah, those old men have finally come out, so let me go and have some fun too. Roger put down the phone in his hand and raised a cold smile at the corner of his mouth. This time I just have to give in and write to the 5 elders. Chapter 229 Golden Lion Shiki is about to take the blame again. Advertise here. Late at night, Wano 9 Mile, Oden Castle. A single light flickered in the daimyo's mansion. Master Oden, it's late at night, please take care of your health and go to rest quickly. Kinemon asked with concern. Yes, Lord Oden, the matter of founding the country should be considered in the long term and cannot be rushed. As long as we in Curry take the lead in making changes, I believe Sukiyaki-sama and other daimyo will also see the benefits of founding a country. Denjiro also persuaded with earnest words. However, Kazuki Oden before the case was not moved at all. Still holding a pen, frowning in thought. Lord Oden. Kinemon and Denjiro came forward curiously and stuck their heads out. Stay tuned to see what Oden is working on. The two of them couldn't help but turn to stone on the spot. Lord Oden. Kinemon yelled with a red face. 660. Master Oden, have you been studying this all day today? Studying the ingredients for Oden. Denjiro's eyes widened and the corners of his mouth twitched. Is there any problem? Kinemon, Denjiro. Oden looked up in confusion. Eating comes second to food, clothing, housing, and transportation. It is of course my duty as a daimyo to research more delicious ways to eat Oden for everyone. Oden said matter-of-factly. Kinemon and Denjiro both covered their faces with their hands. I just felt that what Oden said made sense, and they had no way to refute it. Really, Lord Oden, I don't care about you anymore. Kinemon stamped his feet, turned around and left angrily. Then Master Oden, please study slowly, but you still need to pay attention to rest. Denjiro bowed, carefully closed the door and left. A good moment, after making sure everyone leaves. Oden then put away the Oden recipe. Instead he took out a letter. Originating from the largest organization in the offshore underground world, WA. For things in the underworld. To be honest, Oden never cared. Naturally, very little is known about its information. What really made Kazuki Oden pay attention to this organization was his former partners. The remnants of the Roger pirates, who were hunted by the world government, now have many people attached to this organization. This time, it was his former partners who provided him with secret information. There was even a special reminder. Leave him alone to read the letter. Others, even trusted retainers, cannot tell. Although Kazuki Oden was puzzled by this, he still obeyed. In the dead of night, I took out the letter, waiting to see the information conveyed in the letter. Even Kazuki Oden couldn't help but take a breath and clenched his fist subconsciously. While he was busy promoting the cause of founding the country, Wano actually sneaked in so many large crocodiles, CDAE. Waiting to eat up this country. Oden never knew about this kind of thing. As the daimyo of Curry and the future general of Wano he really failed in his duty. The demon tomb robber behind the bell is indeed Gecko Moria. World government CP0 is finally here. And that golden lion Shiki, why are you everywhere? A sneeze, a sneeze, a sneeze. The golden lion, who was preparing to sleep happily on a floating sky island, sneezed 3 times in a row. Mad, who has offended someone? The golden lion suddenly shuddered and told him, dang. Something is going to happen. The last one is Onigashima. Why is it occupied by pirates? Why has no one said anything about such a big thing? No. Kazuki Oden suddenly remembered. About Ghost Island. He had heard fishermen from Julie talking about it half a month ago. Someone once saw a mysterious giant creature near Onigashima. At that time, his retainer Kanjuro volunteered to go to the island to find out. Afterwards, the reply Oden got from Kanjuro was, nothing strange. The mysterious giant creature suspected of being drunk is probably just the fisherman's illusion. A report to my most trusted retainer, Kanjuro. Oden certainly had no doubts. This matter just ended like this. But now, however, information came from outside the sea that Beast's pirates had settled on Wano Ghost Island. As a native of Wano he didn't know yet. On the contrary, people overseas knew first and told him. What is this? That kid Kanjuro, could he be lazy? Well, that must be the case. That guy's painting skills are so bad. The birds he painted couldn't fly to Onigashima. They must have died on the way. Kazuki Oden said to himself confidently, and found a barely reasonable excuse for his retainer Kanjuro. He did not believe that his most trusted and close retainer would conceal or deceive him. Let's wait until tomorrow to educate him properly. Chapter 230. The Clan of God's Fire Disaster Encounters World Government CP0 Open Black Lens Bracket. Please subscribe close Black Lens Bracket. Advertise here. Wano Julie. Compared with before, there are many new things. From clothing to home construction. From food to transportation. All have been reformed. All of this is naturally the result of Kazuki Oden's hard work. As a general, the only son heir, he is also the famous name of Curry. Have absolute dominion over the territory. In Julie, even the general's orders are not as effective as Oden's instructions. That's why Kazuki Oden can freely pilot the country's founding plan in Guri. The first is to do business with the outside world. Oden originally wanted to use the submersible port to transport goods from the outside world. As a result, he was severely rejected by Shogun Sukiyaki. Shogun Sukiyaki wants to use this to destroy Oden's founding ideals. But I never thought about it. Even without going through the submersible harbor, Oden can still transport new things from the outside world to Julie. Naturally, we took the path of the waterfall where the carp jumped over the Dragon Gate. If it is an ordinary merchant ship, even if there is 100 times the benefit, I'm afraid I won't dare to try climbing the waterfall easily. After all, for ordinary people, Wano Kuni's waterfalls can be said to be almost lifeless. But a mere waterfall would not pose any problem to the largest force in the underground world. Every month, a group of merchant ships loaded with goods will cross the waterfall and come to Julie. It is precisely because of the existence of this trade route. Kazuki Oden was able to gradually transform Curry from the agricultural era into a semi-modern city in just a few years. Oden even tried to integrate new things from the outside world with Wano Kuni's local culture. Expand the influence to other townships. As a result, this plan was discovered by Sukiyaki and had to be interrupted. But it was possible to transform Julie into what it is now. Oden is satisfied enough. Streets and alleys. The girls from Curry who come and go are not only wearing traditional kimonos, but also beautiful little skirts and various fashionable clothes. In such a semi-modern background, the young woman wearing a floral dress and holding a 3-year-old boy was not so conspicuous. Go back, Ace. The young Mother Rouge touched her son's little head and smiled. 3-year-old Ace nodded happily. As long as his mother is by his side, he seems to own the whole world. Compared to the original plot, Ace has been burdened with sin since he was a child. With his Mother Rouge by his side, Ace is destined not to follow his original paranoid path. In addition, because Kazuki Oden would brag about his father in front of little Ace from time to time. Now Ace only admires the father he has never met. The sun gradually sets in the west. Two figures, a small one, holding hands, return home facing the sunset. After a simple dinner and washing up. 8 p.m. Rouge sent his son Ace to sleep while humming a song. Ma'am, this way please. It's quiet at night. The lights at the noisy Julie night market have also been turned off. The moon is dark and the wind is high. Outside the wall of a small single-family courtyard, figures flickered. Several tall figures wearing white robes and masks were like ghosts, silently crossing the courtyard wall and appearing in the small courtyard. The familiar ones spread out and blocked all escape exits. The leader made a gesture. 2 men in white robes and masks were about to break through the door. At this time, the leading CPO frowned, as if he noticed something. The next second, he suddenly looked up. All I can see is the sky in the distance. Please give me flowers. A little flame burns. The flames turned into lines of fire. It swooped towards the small courtyard at an extremely fast speed. Everyone, prepare for battle. Commander CP-0 ordered. The next second, well-trained CP-0 killers put into battle formation. Long legs waving, several powerful and heavy tempest kicks flew through the sky and hit the hot line of fire. The incoming attack was blocked. Finally revealed his true identity. It was a pteranodon with flames all over its body. He is one of the 2 ace officers of Beast's pirates. 0. The last remnant of Lunaria, the clan of gods, Jin. I am here today only because of the plan Kurozumi said. They want to capture Rouge, Ace, mother and son, who have a close relationship with Kazuki Oden, and use them as hostages. However, unexpected. No one expected it. He hasn't met Ace's mother and son yet. Be the first to meet CP-0 who also came to capture Ace mother and son. Enemies are extremely jealous when they meet. All of a sudden, Jin's eyes were all red. Scenes like purgatory on Earth appeared in his mind unconsciously. Their clan once lived on the Red Line, but was mercilessly slaughtered by the world government and celestial dragons. His parents, brothers, relatives and friends were all mercilessly trampled under the feet of the celestial dragons, and became the most despicable slaves. In the end, he was the only one who was sent to the Vegapunk Research Institute. With the help of Kaido, he successfully escaped. Jin still remembers it clearly. Their clan was destroyed back then. The people who burned their hometown to the ground were the people in white robes and masks in front of them. Lee, a scream full of anger exploded in the night sky. Toothless Pteranodon Jin, full firepower. Chapter 231 Furious Winged Dragon Jin vs CP-0 Killer. Please subscribe. Advertise here. Look at the white-robed masked men in the courtyard. An image of a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood appeared in Yan Banjan's mind uncontrollably. That was the scene where his relatives and tribesmen were mercilessly slaughtered by the world government. Enemies are extremely jealous when they meet. Yan Liangjan's eyes turned red in an instant. Powerful killing intent burst out from his body. At this moment, there was no mission left in his mind. Only, kill. Kill everyone in front of you. Kill. The Pteranodon roared murderously. His body shape is like a sharp arrow drawn from a string. Dive with the power to destroy everything. 090. The air crackled under the strain of his speed. The ear-piercing sound exploded in the night sky. Huh, he's just a beast. Don't get carried away. A CP0 strong man sneered. Feet running wildly, his figure suddenly changed. From man to beast. Eventually it transformed into a rhinoceros with rough skin and thick flesh. Zone Niu Fruit Rhinoceros Form Ability, activated. Iron Body. Armed. Rhino CP0 went straight towards the swooping Pteranodon. At the same time, activate his strongest defensive stance, Iron Body. The rhinoceros form itself has strong leather armor. Plus the power of the 6-style Iron Body in armament color. Its defensive power is even more conceivable. Among the CPs present. His strength may not be the most outstanding among them. But in terms of defensive power, it is definitely second to none. Undoubtedly number 1, others who are also CP0 also have full confidence in his defensive power. No matter what the opponent was in the past, when they collided with the Rhino CP0 in this posture, all bones and tendons would be broken by the terrifying reaction force. Today will be no exception. Although I don't know what went crazy with the Pteranodon. But everyone at CP has already foreseen it. The pterosaur's beak was broken, and even its head was crushed. That's how it should be. However, the development of the situation was far beyond CP0's expectations. Mid-air, Iron Body Rhino and Pteranodon finally clashed. The light of the powerful impact bloomed. Light up the dark night sky. The terrifying shock wave spread. In an instant, the small courtyard was razed to the ground. CP0 The devastating scene that everyone imagined did not appear. The Iron Body Rhino and Pteranodon, which had the strongest defense, were locked in a fierce stalemate. The stalemate did not last long. Only a soft pop was heard. The Pteranodon's beak pierced the Iron Body Rhino's armor, splashing a dazzling blood splash. Ah! A shrill scream sounded, derived from Iron Body Rhino CP0. Hey, what on earth is going on? CP Everyone's expressions changed. Ah, damn it, this is no ordinary pterosaur, it's a person with abilities. His armament hockey is still above me. These are the last words left by Rhino CP0. Finished. The Pteranodon's head was completely submerged into the rhino's body. Prick you. Yan Banjin roared angrily. The body penetrated the rhino's iron body armor like a drill. It penetrated him to the core. Blood spurted out instantly. Like blood raining down on the world. Rhino CP0's whole body exploded. The Pteranodon, which had been covered in blood, flapped its wings. Like a bloodthirsty demonic creature from hell. Damn. The expression behind the CPO captain's mask suddenly changed. His eyes were red, and his face was extremely ferocious. Originally thought it was just a simple robbery mission. As a result, a general was lost before it even started. Everyone, fight quickly and take him down. The CPO captain ordered sharply. Yes. Tempest Kick Bird, Flying Finger Pistol. Tempest Kick 2 Cut. The powerful CPO men mercilessly launched a violent storm-like attack on the blood-stained Pteranodon in midair. But as before, no matter how violent their attacks are, the Pteranodon in the sky was always unscathed. This kind of thing. CPO Everyone looked moved. Cemetery. A CP0 seemed to have thought of something. Before that, he participated in an operation. I have encountered similar abilities before. I know his secret. He is the remnant of the Lunaria clan. A CP0 revealed the true identity of Yan Calamity Jin. The next second, a pterosaur claw flew up from the sky and kicked it away. So that's it, it turns out they are the remnants of that clan. No wonder. But we know your weaknesses best. The CPO captain sneered again and again. Kill. Even though the secret was known, Yan Liangjin still did not give in at all. He bravely and fearlessly kills the culprit who destroyed his family. Boom. Chapter 232. Golden Lion Shiki comes to Ghost Island. Please subscribe. Advertise here. The battle fluctuations of the strong men can be clearly perceived even from a long distance away. As a relative of the daimyo Kazuki Oden, the compound of Rouge and Ace's mother and son is not far from Oden Castle. Now, when the fierce battle ripples spread, the quiet Oden Castle suddenly became brightly lit. The warriors used new flashlights and gathered urgently. The daimyo Kazuki Oden, Kinemon, Denjiro and other retainers left the city immediately. Lord Oden, Kanjuro, who was covered in scars, stumbled back to Oden Castle, holding back Oden and others who wanted to go to check the situation. Kanjuro, Mr. Kanjuro, what's wrong with you? Kazuki Oden, Kinemon, Xiaoju and others rushed forward and supported Kanjuro. Lord Oden, something bad is going to happen. 23. There were intruders, because everyone was killed. Kanjuro spoke weakly. Report false information to Oden. The invaders were a fact, but the samurai responsible for protecting Rouge and Ace's mother and son were not killed by any of the invaders. It was Kanjuro himself who actually killed his companions who had been together day and night. Okay, no need to say any more, let's do it. I already know enough about the specific situation. Kazuki Oden interrupted Kanjuro's delay. Kanjuro, leave the rest to us. Kinemon nodded heavily. Mr. Kanjuro, just give up and rest. Xiaoju said with concern. Arrange medical staff to settle Kanjuro. Kazuki Oden waved his hand. He took all the retainers and warriors and headed straight to the small courtyard. Damn, what's going on tonight? Isn't it a simple arresting mission? Why did it become like this? Kanjuro roared angrily in his heart. At this moment, Small courtyard battlefield. Before the arrival of Daimyo Kazuki Oden. A cat and a dog arrived first. They are Neko Viper and Anuarashi. He once followed Kazuki Oden in the Whitebeard Pirates and the Roger Pirates. Of course they would not care less about Captain Roger's widow and bloodline. Bastard intruder. What on earth did you do? Looking at the collapsed building, Neko Viper and Inuarashi's eyes turned red instantly. A cat and a dog roared and joined the battlefield between the Pterosaur Jin and World Government CP0. The already chaotic battle situation suddenly became more and more inextricable. At the same time, a safe house, about a few hundred meters away from the battlefield. Mr. Yishao, what happened tonight? The young Mother Rouge asked uneasily. Don't worry, Miss Rouge, everything has been arranged by the teacher. It's just that I'm afraid I won't be able to stay in this place for long from now on. The blind swordsman smiled and reassured. Yes, everything depends on Teacher Roger's instructions. Rouge nodded lightly and stopped asking too many questions. The deadly battle on the small courtyard battlefield did not last long. After feeling the powerful aura coming from Kazuki Oden, World Government CP0, everyone's expressions changed suddenly. Choose to retreat without hesitation and suspend the operation. Even though CP0 is not weak, they don't want to face the terrifying Kazuki Oden. After all, he was a true admiral-level powerhouse. When Kazuki Oden arrived at the scene with a large number of samurai, in the end, it was just a matter of intercepting the next seriously injured CPO. Lord Oden, it's bad, Mrs. Rouge and Little Ace are nowhere to be found. We have searched the ruins, but, the gray-headed Neko Viper and Anuarashi had anxious tears in their eyes. Don't worry, Anuarashi, Neko Viper, Miss Rouge and Little Ace are fine. Kazuki Oden nodded. Real, Cat Viper and Dog 620 Land's eyes suddenly lit up. Certainly, Kazuki Oden said firmly. Now take these two CPs. No, the intruders will go back and interrogate them properly. Yes, in the Raging Tide, an island of skeletons stands. This is the island of ghosts. At this moment, the skeleton hall in the center of the island. Really, too slow. Brachiosaurus Quinn frowned. Jin, that idiot, is so slow to do things that are clearly arranged and easy to grasp. Could it be that he is being lazy? Kaido, this time, Quinn, who had always been at odds with Jin, was just about to say a few bad words. The next second, cemetery. Gia ha ha ha. Unruly laughter resounded across the sky of Ghost Island. Kaido, who was happily drunk, suddenly changed his expression. Kaido kid, your senior is here, aren't you going to go out to greet him? Chapter 233 Golden Lion Shiki's Kaido of the Beasts. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Gia ha 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 ha. Kaido boy, senior is here, why don't you come out to greet him quickly? It's rare that senior brought a gift for you. Unruly laughter echoed over Ghost Island. Purple lightning dances wildly, light up the dark sky. At the same time, it also illuminated the tall figure like a lion. What's going on? What's going on? Kurozumi, who was waiting for good news on Onigashima, was so frightened that he fell to the ground. Now there is no renovation and construction. A skull is just a broken skull. Through the eyes of the skeleton, you can clearly see the scene outside the sky. Guy Kaido-sama. Something bad is going to happen. That's the flying pirate Golden Lion Shiki. It's Golden Lion Shiki here. The pirates of the Beast Corps shouted in panic. Boom. On the skeleton throne, Kaido of the Beasts, who was drunk just a second ago. At this moment, he was completely awake. Use your right hand slightly. The wine gourd exploded in response. Even without looking, just listening to that familiar and annoying laugh. Kaido of the Beasts already knew the identity of the visitor. There won't be anyone but Golden Lion Shiki. About nearly 20 years ago. All the unforgettable memories of my time as an intern at Rock's Pirate are now flooding into my mind. Kaido of the Beasts' face was so gloomy that he was about to drip blood. Golden Lion Shiki. Unbelievable screams of shock rang out from the hall. Derived from Brachiosaurus Quinn, long after the subordinates reported. He finally reacted belatedly. Why is that old lion here? Didn't he take Ohara to find the ancient weapon? Did you find it so quickly? Quinn lost her voice in shock. Kaido-sama. At this time, another pirate ran over in a hurry. Something bad happened, Captain Kaido. Just now, we found that the Golden Lion was holding Lord Jin in his hand. Jin-sama was captured by the Golden Lion Shiki. The situation doesn't seem to be good. The beast soldier reported anxiously. What did you say? Jin, that idiot, what a useless guy. Quinn was merciless and sarcastic. No. Suddenly, Kaido of the Beasts, who had been silent for a long time, smiled. Bastard Golden Lion, Lousy is no longer the intern who came and went when you called him. Now that he's here today, I'll let you see him. My uncle is the strongest power right now. Kaido of the Beasts grinned. Click. A cold electricity penetrated the sky and the earth. Kaido of the Beasts' figure suddenly swelled up against the storm. Logia, a phantom beast that is even rarer than Logia, activates its fish fruit blue dragon form ability. Kaido's already tall body grew even larger at this moment. In the blink of an eye, a blue dragon hundreds of meters long appeared. As the body dances, it brings up gusts of strong wind. Wow, Kaido of the Beast skyrocketed. Jumped out of the skull's left eye. It doesn't take long to climb hundreds of meters in the air and look at the golden lion Shiki from a distance. Jaya, looking at the mighty dragon that suddenly appeared in front of him. A moment of deliberate astonishment flashed across golden lion Shiki's face. He seemed to be very surprised by Kaido of the Beast's current posture. Captured the astonishment of golden lion Shiki who once bullied him. Kaido of the Beasts couldn't help but laugh proudly. What's wrong? Old lion, are you scared by my current posture? I am no longer the intern who let you bully me. I am very strong now. Kaido of the Beast spoke confidently. Jia ha, how dare you say that, kid Kaido. No matter what you become now, it can't change the past when you were a younger brother. Golden lion Shiki teased. Asshole. Kaido of the Beast's eyes widened. I was hurt by golden lion's words. Golden lion, you beat my subordinates who have good money into such a miserable state without permission, and invaded my territory without permission. Do you want to start a war? Kaido of the Beasts growled. Golden lion Shiki glanced at the bloody flame ember in his hand and grinned. He did not explain the fact that he just picked up the seriously injured Jin. Nothing is all right. In the end, the dialogue between pirates still has to rely on fists. Jia ha, I'm just a younger brother, but my tone is really quite serious now. In that case, come on. Let me weigh how much you have now. Golden lion Shiki burst into laughter. Take the move, heat breath. Chapter 234. Kill the phantom beast Xinglong. Open black lens bracket please subscribe close black lens bracket. Advertise here. Hot breath. Blue dragon form Kaido's mouth opens wide. A little cross-shaped brilliant light shines from deep in its throat. Releases terrifying light and heat energy fluctuations. Accompanied by an earth-shattering high-pitched dragon roar, there was an explosion. Kaido breathed out the terrifying dragon's hot breath that was enough to explode the mountain. The dazzling beam of light instantly spanned 100 meters and struck Golden Lion Shiki. Jia ha. Golden Lion Shiki laughed several times. His body turned. Escape Kaido's heat with ease. Don't even think about running. Kaido moves at will. The thermal breath of the terrifying dragon also swept across Kaido's head as he turned. Falling on the land of Ghost Island, the island was shaken violently, and a bottomless ravine was formed. Sweeping into the sea, the turbulent sea boiled and exploded, and massive amounts of hot water steam evaporated. This shows the great power of the blue dragon's searing breath. Only, the power of heat breath is extremely powerful. If you can't reach your opponent, naturally 310 is just doing useless work. And this terrifying heat cannot last forever. There will eventually be an end. Just 10 seconds later, Kaido's heat breath after being charged for a long time is exhausted. Looking at the unharmed golden lion Shiki not far away, swaying in the wind. Kaido's dragon face showed extreme ferocity and anger. Asshole old lion, don't run away if you can. Come on head on. Kaido yelled. He firmly believed, just like when his heat breath hit the golden lion before. It can definitely burn it to ashes in one hit. However, golden lion's lion fruit ability is too mobile. The legendary flying pirate is nothing more than that. It's just a hiding rat. If it's hard steel from the front, I guarantee you won't survive the attack. Kaido of the Beast scoffed. Continue CDFF using the provocation method on Golden Lion Shiki. As an old friend of the former Rocks pirate, he is well aware of Golden Lion Shiki's arrogant self-esteem. After being ridiculed by him like this, he will definitely get angry and confront him head-on. At that time, he will suddenly burst out, give him a head-on critical attack, and win the battle. The idea of Kaido of the Beasts is wonderful. If it were a real golden lion, it would probably be as he expected. But if Kaido doesn't know, now he faces the golden lion. Jia ha, I haven't seen you for more than 10 years. Kaido kid, your tone is getting louder and louder. Who gave you the courage to talk to lousy like this? Golden Lion Shiki laughed teasingly. Stop rambling, I am no longer the weak me I used to be. With the ability of the phantom beast Xinglong, I will never succumb to anyone again. An old lion like you wouldn't be able to catch even one of my moves in a head-to-head confrontation. Kaido of the Beast shouted confidently. You're so brave, kid Kaido, I'm afraid you won't even be able to catch my sword once I strike. Golden Lion Shiki is condescending, looking down at Kaido. It's really a no-go race for those who are so long-winded. Take the move, thermal breathing shotgun. Kaido's dragon mouth opened wide again. The scorching heat gathered again. But this time it didn't form a bunch like before. Instead, it turned into countless fireballs and shot towards the golden lion. Lion Thousand Slice Valley. Golden Lion Shiki swings his feet. Countless golden sword energy flew out from the famous sword Sakura Ju and Mukuro. Intercepting all the belides without missing a beat. Dazzling fireworks exploded in the sky. Bad wind. Xinglong Kaido's mouth opened and closed. Between mouths. Dozens or hundreds of powerful and heavy wind blades were spit out from his mouth. Disorganized. Flying in all directions. Ding 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 ding. Golden Lion Shiki wields his famous sword with both feet. Easily cut off all the wind blades. If you have any other moves, just come forward. Golden Lion Shiki grinned. Then, tornado. Kaido's hundreds of meters long dragon body spins like a top. Several tornadoes were generated like natural disasters. Disrupting the situation in all directions. Bringing countless boulders to dance wildly. During this period, there was also strong wind that could crack mountains and crack rocks. It's just these few moves back and forth. It's so boring, Kaido. Golden Lion Shiki shook his head with a bored expression. What did you say? Kaido was furious and just wanted to get angry. The next second, his bell-like dragon eyes suddenly tightened. Golden Lion Shiki, who was locked in his chi machine, suddenly disappeared. At the same time, an unprecedented sense of crisis hit me. I have killed countless enemies in my life, but this is the first time for a creature like a dragon that you are worth killing. A faint voice exploded in Kaido's ears, like a thunder initiation. Poof! Dazzling blood splattered. Ah! A shrill scream echoed. Chapter 235. Powerful to the despair of Kaido of the Beasts. Open black lens bracket. Please subscribe. Close black lens bracket. Advertise here. 400 years ago, the sword god Ryoma killed the flying dragon with one sword. It created a legend that is still passed down from generation to generation. 400 years later, Golden Lion Roger also strikes. The red dragon's blood stains the sky. Ang ah 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 ah. That was the shrill scream of Azure Dragon Kaido. It exploded into the sky and lasted for a long time. On top of his huge dragon body, the knife mark on the bone can be seen, deep as a knife. Blood was spilled like it was free of charge. Mr. Kaido. Captain Kaido. Kaido-sama. On the ground, the pirates of the 100 Beasts group all widened their eyes in shock and shouted loudly. Boom, boom. Kaido's huge dragon body crashed onto the ground of Onigashima. The green dragon soaring in the sky was cut down by someone else's sword at this moment. Father. Wait, Ms. Yamato. Don't go there, Miss Yin. Kaido. Mr. Kaido. The beast pirates, headed by the Kadri Brachiosaurus Quinn, immediately gathered around Captain Kaido, who was knocked back to his original form. The ship's doctor put down the medical kit and bandaged the captain's wounds. Get out of everyone's way. Kaido waved his hand. Knocked the ship's doctor and others 10 meters away. The sinister eyes stared at the slowly landing Golden Lion Shiki without blinking. The terrifying knife from before originally caused even the strongest creature like him to die. There are also the whispers of Golden Lion Shiki from before. For a moment, Kaido had a misunderstanding in his heart for no reason. It was as if he was not facing Golden Lion Shiki himself, but another existence that is dozens or hundreds of times more terrifying than the Golden Lion. Jia ha 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 ha, how are you? Kaido kid, are you convinced? Golden Lion Shiki crossed his arms and spoke proudly. Asshole, I don't believe it. Kaido of the Beasts took out the mace from his waist and stood up with force. There must have been something wrong before. It's impossible for a teacher like you to win over me now. Then you mean to continue? Golden Lion Shiki's eyes flashed. Come again. Kaido Haki shouted. The real victory or defeat has just begun now. While talking, Kaido's figure suddenly changed dramatically. It doesn't take a moment. A sharp-edged little dragon appeared in everyone's sight. This is Kaido's strongest dragon form. Bring it on. Kaido walked straight towards the Golden Lion with earth-shaking steps. You are no match in the air, let alone on the ground. Golden Lion Shiki spoke quietly. The words fell. His big hand suddenly fell to the ground. Lion Majesty, Earth Coiling. Reaching level 4, the Lion Fruit ability that understands the true meaning of floating is activated. Ho 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 ho. On the land of Ghost Island. One after another, fierce lion heads roared onto the scene. As Golden Lion Shiki waved his big hand, he bit Kaido. Look at me destroying all these things in one go. Kaido roared vigorously. His mace thundered. Thunder 8 trigrams. Boom. It exploded with terrifying power like thunder. In an instant, it penetrated more than a dozen Earth Lion heads. ... Please give me flowers. Do you see it? This is Lousy's power now. Kaido of the Beasts laughed proudly to himself. Why are you so proud of yourself if you haven't even hit 1%, you kid Kaido? Golden Lion Shiki spoke teasingly. The smile on Kaido's face stopped abruptly. Look around. But it is a discovery. I don't know when. Hundreds of densely packed lion heads roared in unison. Hateful. Thunder 8 trigrams. Thunder 8 trigrams. Continuous thunder 8 trigrams. Dragon Man stance. Kaido of the Beasts is on full fire. Continuously wave the thundering 8 trigrams to fight against the endless Earth Lion. However, no matter how many he destroyed, the number of Earth Lions was never small. The speed at which he explodes cannot keep up with the spawning speed of the Golden Lion. It's hopeless. After swinging an unknown number of thunderous 8 trigrams. After defeating countless Earth Lions. Even Kaido, who has the constitution of a blue dragon, is showing signs of fatigue. Kaido knew that if he continued to consume like this, he would definitely lose. You must look for opportunities and decide the outcome with one blow. Old Lion, if you have the ability. Kaido's irritating words haven't left his mouth yet. Good. Golden Lion Shiki agreed. At the same time, the Earth Lions all over the mountains and plains followed his wave and returned to the ground again and disappeared. Seeing this, Kaido was stunned for a moment, then overjoyed. He tightened his grip on the mace in his hand. Gather the strength and armed color of your whole body. Hit his strongest attack at this stage. Thunder 8 trigrams.